Hello, everybody. The Mariners are 25-21 and still in first place. In fact, they're the only team in the AL West above 500. AL West kind of looking like the AL Central this year with just a sea of bad teams. But the Mariners are pulling out in front and still playing pretty good ball for the most part. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sogcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Garrett.
Yeah, Mariners have it. It is surprising that the Mariners are still doing so well, right? Because it seems like a lot of times we're like, we have our struggles with bases loaded. Our bullpen
Grounding
is
into double plays, things like that.
double play, and it seems like we're having all these issues, but they are finding ways to win games. I mean, when were we ever 4 games above 500 last year? Or the year before that? I mean, it was like 500 ball until around the All-Star break.
It was all the way till the All-Star break. I looked it up earlier this year, and we were as mediocre as we could be. I remember joking about it for months with you guys from May all the way to the All-Star break in early July. Yeah, as 50-50 as we could be. And then we took off in July and especially in August.
Yeah.
So this year it is really nice to see that we are 4 games above 500 at this point in the season because we wanted a hot start. We didn't get necessarily a hot start, but the boys have found a way to win early, and we know what we're capable of. Even though the offense is lacking a lot of times, we know that there's a lot of room for growth for some of our developing players, but some of our veterans, we have to temper our expectations that we had early this year and see what kind of role they can play on this team while everyone builds around them as well. And hopefully we get everyone back. We got Canzone back. Hopefully we get JP back soon, and we can get back to full strength.
Oh, yeah. Quick kind of Mariner news. JP, minor setback in his recovery. He was currently rehabbing in Tacoma, which is always good.
Yeah, I think it was his last rehab start where he was on his way back.
He's on his way back. It's always common practice in the MLB if you have a starter, especially that is missing a significant amount of time, they will go to AAA for maybe about a week, 3 games.
Yeah, probably
maybe
3 games,
3 to 5 games. Just kind of get some live ABs under their bat before they join back to the major league roster.
Yeah, that game time experience is necessary before jumping straight back in after an injury to see how everything's working out and get their timing right.
And we had JP doing that. He was doing just fine. And he took a fastball right off the back of his hand, holding the bat, hit by pitch. It doesn't seem to be serious. There's no broken bones or anything like this.
Thank God.
But it has been a minor setback in his recovery. We still expect to see him back soon.
It looked ugly when we saw the video. Everyone was like, "Oh shit!" And then I'm sure they took X-rays, but what they came out with was he has hand and wrist inflammation. Of course, like it's gonna be swollen and hurt. Yeah.
Oh, it feels hot when I get hit by a 95 mile per hour fastball.
It's sad that we're happy to see okay, good, just inflammation, but that does delay his comeback by a couple days, I'm sure, and it sucks to not have those reps and come back hurting like that or being worried about that. But I will be super happy when he gets back because JP is our guy.
Hopefully he meets us in New York or Washington or something.
Yeah. He is supposed to return on this road trip.
Good.
So
good. Then we can send Leo Rivas down, the guy that's barely been on the field and
that dude
pretty much does one thing.
He's a crucial part of the team, guys.
What does he do, Garrett?
He pinch runs for Mitch Haniger.
In the 8th inning, if the Mariners have a lead and Mitch Haniger gets on base. If all of those stipulations are met,
I guess that is a crucial part. You're right. I wasn't thinking about how slow the Mitches could be late in the game. He could pinch run for Mitch Garver, and I'd be happy too. Automatic Mitch runner.
Isn't it weird though that we had Clase and stuff come up and do well and perform, and
Samad Taylor came up, played well.
Yeah,
sure.
and we send him back down. It's like, oh, you've got some more time to develop. And then there's just this guy just quietly hanging out, pinch running randomly. It's so weird whenever I hear his name.
We're down at JP.
That's
what
true.
What else are we going to do?
And Haggerty's on our roster and takes all the at-bats that Rivas would get now it's just like Haggerty gets those at bats, which is just okay.
It is just okay. It's a good way.
Haggerty has impressed me a couple times this year, and he is one of those low-level major league players who can stick on a roster because he's so useful, but easily replaceable if we decide to upgrade at some point. That'd be nice, you know?
And it's not like Sam Haggerty is going to make or break a team. Like,
he's playing a role that we already have covered, so like we're good. So the Mariners been winning.
They have been. The last game, or the first game, I guess, since our last episode was Sunday against the A's. And honestly, not much to talk about that. It was
That was
brutal.
Saturday.
Or was that the Saturday? Oh, yeah. So
Saturday. So the Mariners won the first game 8-1, right?
Yes.
And then Saturday came in and lost the game 8-1, which was not very nice. The only
that was rude.
The only
Come on, A's.
good thing I can talk about, I guess, is Bryce Miller had a decent start. He
did.
went 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts, which is very nice in 6 innings.
That's good.
That's a great start. That's a quality start.
Very good. And then our bullpen gave up runs in the 8th and 9th inning to bury us after we didn't do anything offensively all day. So there's not really too much to talk about that day.
One thing I will say, though, it's kind of nice that when the bullpen falls apart, it's a day where it didn't really matter. The Mariners weren't scoring. Gabe the Babe, who has been absolutely lights out for us, gave up like 2 or 3 runs in that game. And if he's going to give up runs in a game, that's the game to give it up on, right?
Sure.
The Mariners offense is doing jack shit. You're already down by 3 or 4 runs. He gives up a 2 or 3 spot. That's when you want, because no bullpen, no pitcher, no elite closer, no bullpen arm, no one is going to be 100% of the time. They're going to have mess ups.
That's true.
So if a A+ reliever is going to have a mess up, might as well be in a game that doesn't really matter. So
That's fair. And our bullpen has been quietly very good.
And Gabe is, I'd say, one of the best arms.
High leverage arm for sure. Our number one lefty in the bullpen that we can go to anytime we need that. And he is nasty. He can pitch against right-handed batters as well. I mean, Gabe has impressed me last year and this year. He's been awesome in our bullpen. It does suck to give up those runs, but like you said, it does happen, and like we saw it happen to Thornton and Spire a couple weeks ago, and I was like, this is unusual that it happens to these guys back to back like that, and it happened again today, or that day on Saturday. Wasn't very nice to lose that game against the A's, but they've been playing better baseball than they have in the past.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that game, kind of just a shit show.
Yeah, there's not much to say about that game, but you know what I like?
What do you like?
Leadoff hits in the first inning.
Yeah.
Josh Rojas has been helping us out with that in
He
JP's
has.
absence. And now Dylan Moore is helping us out with that in JP's absence.
Yeah.
On the Sunday game, it was kind of weird to see Demo in the leadoff spot.
I think that was the first time we've done it this year.
And it is kind of weird because he's like a Willie Bloomquist, kind of all-around utility guy who you wouldn't traditionally see in a leadoff role.
Shout out Willie.
Yeah, shout out Willie Bloomquist. Also, that being said, Demo has been playing out of his mind with the new playing time that he's gotten. And, it's not completely out of the ordinary to put him in the leadoff spot. And sure enough, to start that game, leadoff single, Mitch Garver, RBI. Oh, Dylan Moore, single, steal,
Yeah.
RBI. Get him on, get him over, get him in to start the game.
It was very nice. And Garver slapped a single through the hole on the left side to left field, and Dylan Moore easily scored. He's fast enough to score from second base on that. He might have been moved to third at that point. I'm not sure. But Dylan Moore scored easily. It's nice to see Garver getting it done. We got on Wood early. And then in the second innings, the second inning, the Mariners put up 4 runs on Wood. France, Arias, Zavala, Haggerty, Dylan Moore, all did some damage until Julio came up and closed the deal and hit a home run, made it 5-0 Mariners in the second inning. So
Yeah.
we got all over Alex Wood, and he kind of sucks. So he was out of the game pretty early, and the Mariners ended up just cruising through the rest of this game. Honestly, Zavala threw out Abraham Toro. That was fun.
That is fun.
Mariners legend Abraham Toro, who also has like almost 20 stolen bases already.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, Toro. He's got like 18, I think.
So does Caballero. Is that who we were talking about?
Oh, no. Toro has them too, I think. Maybe.
Okay. Well,
Toro has stolen bases.
we'll look that up
Pull
real
that
quick. Arias played third base really well, man. He made a great play to rob Brent Rooker down the left field line, and Rooker has been hitting the ball hard. It was a hard hit ball, and Arias robbed him in the 4th inning. Abraham Toro. I can't see him
on it,
having
yeah.
18 stolen
I'm
bases.
telling you
That's
that-
throwing me off, man. No,
I
think
might
he
have
has
got it
like
mixed up
6.
with. No, I'm
He
telling.
has 2.
Well, no one bats 1,000.
I think you're thinking Jose Caballero.
I did
Caballero's
get
the
him
one
mixed up.
stealing
That's
bases.
a guy. I didn't see that kind of value in Caballero, but sure enough, the Rays take what they can get and make it theirs.
Also, it does make sense that
Toro has 12 career stolen bases.
What?
all 12 in the last week.
That's also insane. I can see him stealing more bases than that.
Nelson Cruz has more stolen bases than that.
That's
awesome.
crazy.
How do you? I mean, you end up throughout a season, you end up with more than 12
That
accidentally.
can't be right. Why does it say 12 career?
It
'Cause he's
most
slow?
certainly does say 12 career stolen bases.
No,
Damn, I
it's-
thought he
that's
was
his-
quicker than that.
That's crazy because that's not what it says below. I'm reading it wrong. That's not true. Don't listen to me.
All right, and then the 5th inning, Luis Castillo, he gave up a home run. He's been on a really hot streak, which I'll talk about later. I have some numbers on that, but that made it 5-1 Mariners. It was just a solo shot. But also in the 5th inning, Julio hit a double, and then Garver smacked a homer right back. So we made it 7-1 and buried those guys in the 5th inning. Abraham Toro, who we're just talking about, he's actually pretty slow, but he does hit the ball over the fence occasionally. He slapped a solo shot and made it 7-2. And then in the 6th inning, Zavala hit a home run right back. So every time they were scoring, we scored right back and kept them absolutely buried all day. The 7th inning was nice, except for it wasn't. Julio walked. I thought it was nice, but
I'm going by the stats, and then I read the rest of it.
yeah. It was actually funny that Julio walked. Haniger grounded into a double play.
Sick.
Garver walked.
Okay.
Polanco struck out.
Oh.
So that was I thought that was notable at the time because it was because it sucked so bad. But luckily we were already up by like a ton of runs there. And Munoz came in and closed the game, but we were already up 4 runs, and the Mariners took the series from the A's, which we expected to do.
Yes.
Even though the A's have been playing a better brand of baseball this year, I'm glad that we took the series from the A's because I was thinking what would be the feel of the Mariners fans or even the national news about the Mariners if they drop a series to the A's.
Especially a series at home. Like a home series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably feel a lot like Rangers fans when the Rockies swept the Rangers.
Oh! Burn!
Also, this is just kind of a little thing, but one team scored 8 runs in all 3 games of the Oakland series, it's just kind of a weird baseball thing that happens, but it's kind of funny. The first game, the Mariners won 8-1. The next game, they lost 8-1. And then the third game, they won 8-4. Just kind of funny scoring, but that's baseball.
It happens.
You see all types of funny numbers and stuff like that.
It's a lot of runs. There's a lot of action.
Cool. Let's talk about George Kirby on Monday.
The Royals.
Against Bradley Singer, a great pitch. I'm a
Brady
Brady.
Singer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Bradley.
I got the
Got him.
I got the Tom Bradley roast stuck in my mind.
Oh,
okay.
right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Brady Singer has been really good, man. And
I've been a fan of him for a couple years. I've really liked.
is he
this
on your
guy.
fantasy team?
Not this year.
Trade for him.
Do you have him?
No, I don't.
I'll offer.
So Kirby started the game super rough.
Yes.
Got himself in a jam, got out of it, luckily, but man, started shaky. Didn't look good for Kirby.
Hit 2 batters in the first inning.
Yeah.
And which helps his walk numbers, but still free base runners that you don't want to see. And
Yeah, he hates putting runners on base for free, man. And also, it was the beginning of the game. It was probably a grip issue on the ball where he was like gripping the ball a little bit too hard and spiking it. He like hit someone in the foot, right? And he was just spiking it and like not getting his pitches where they need to be. But he did also recover from that very quickly.
He dialed it in.
In the first inning, there was a fan down the left field line.
This is crazy.
Absolutely insane. This dude caught 2 foul balls in a row.
back-to-back pitches.
2 pitches, 2 foul balls to the same guy, and he caught both of them.
Patrick, you did the math one time. How many ball games have you been to? Thousands?
Over 1,000.
Over
yes.
1,000.
In person.
Never caught a foul ball.
No.
I hate to bring it up, but I'm trying to make a point that
and
how insane that is.
It's
that
crazy.
One guy caught 2 back-to-back fouls. 2 fouls to the exact same spot.
It's like the same
On
pitch, the
back-to-back
same
pitches,
swing.
like-
What?
And yeah, I've never caught a foul ball. I've come close and I've only come close a handful of times.
I know one bounced off your hands.
Julio Rodriguez
Oh,
on the first pitch of the bottom of the first. He was leading off. It was last year. I was sitting 300 level, first base side, first pitch, fouls it right to me. I reach my hands in and it hits off the metal like balcony and bounces down. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I still lose sleep over it. I toss and turn. I'll kick my sheets at night. Like, why didn't I catch that fucking ball?
Wake up in a sweat.
baseball is life.
You'll get one eventually.
I will. And ain't no little kid. I'm not handing it to a little kid. That's not happening. I'm sorry, Timmy. You're gonna have to learn it's a cold world out there. And I'm keeping that damn foul ball. This is kind of funny. The guy that caught those 2 foul balls, sitting directly behind him in view of the camera, was a guy that I have known for all of his life. My mom used to do daycare for him as a kid, and he's currently on leave from the military, was having a little, and he happened to be sitting behind the guy that caught the 2 foul balls. So I was like, I know you.
That's crazy.
H, I know who you are.
Can you reach over his head and grab one?
You should have grabbed the second one.
Should have got the second one at least, bro.
But no, that was really cool to see someone that I watched grow up on TV being like, hey.
Too bad he didn't catch it.
Too bad.
Yeah, he wasn't in the limelight there, but he was in the shot.
And thank you for your service, H.
Yes,
Appreciate
thank you.
Yep. So, back to Monday versus the Royals.
Oh yeah.
it. Second inning.
Yep, Cal Raleigh got hit on the backswing.
I think on just the
The
swing.
forward swing. Because
Yeah.
catcher's interference.
Yeah, called on catcher's interference. Whatever, he got hit.
Yes.
And
that's
it
an error.
looked painful, dude.
Yes.
He was not having it.
He got hit on the back of the hand.
He's super tough, though. He'll
Oh.
play
Yeah.
through anything, as
And-
we've seen a few times before now.
That hurts really bad.
I'm sure it hurts, but Cal's the toughest person alive.
I was worried they were going to pull him out of the game, but he stayed in like a champ, like he always does.
I'm sure they x-rayed it later
Yeah, they had to, for sure.
on his catching hand.
Yeah, Wilson Contreras got hit by a backswing and broke his arm recently, so I'm sure they take all precautions. Anytime a dude gets hit by a bat, they're going to take that x-ray, so I'm glad he's okay.
Yep.
And he
I
came,
mean, he came back and hit a double after that.
Yeah.
like
he's-
right after that.
Unstoppable.
The next half inning, he came up and hit it like a hustle double too. He had to get in there quickly. The throw came in, and that's the kind of guy we need to sign up. I keep saying it.
We have
Sign him
to.
up.
I would say he's our most important Mariner. JP, still best Mariner.
Best Mariner.
There's
Most
a few,
important,
There's
though?
a few guys making a run for best Mariner right now. It's
true.
But most
important-
important Mariner, Cal. We have to sign this guy up.
Please.
The Penguin?
The Penguins.
Nuke well in cold weather. The Penguin, Cal Raleigh.
Oh no, summer's coming. Luke Raley goes ballistic. Nuke Raley with a 2-run home run with Cal on base makes it 2-0. So in the second inning, we go up early, and that's what we like to see.
And the Nuke Raley home run, dead center at T-Mobile, which is very rare. It's almost never done. Like,
Never been done before.
I mean, it has,
happens,
but
yeah.
it's rare to hit something to dead center. T-Mobile's park center field is pretty deep, and like the way the field dimensions are, to hit it to straight center is like a very rare occurrence
It's
for
tough.
our ballpark, and
It means you got all of that
all
shit.
of it and straight on, and just launched it over center field. Also, I thought it was kind of funny. I was listening to the radio call for that one, and Dave Sims called him Nuke Raley at first for the home run. He was like, but then he seemed to like kind of second guess if he wanted to call him that nickname. And so he's like, Luke hit that, and like kind of backtracked on his
Commit,
word.
man.
I noticed that too.
It was kind of funny.
You got to do it. It's his nickname from last year when he hit a bunch of home runs in Tampa Bay. That's his thing, man. He's a very explosive player. He's Nuke Raley, you know. Anyway, that was awesome to score early for 2 games in a row like that and jump on the starting pitcher. Our offense needs to do that, and I think they're making an adjustment where they're starting to attack early and often. And it's been working out better. They've had better at-bats and put the bat on the ball with more authority this week, I've noticed. Even though the Royals series was a whole battle. Ty France, he had a good long battle and singles with 2 outs. And Dylan Moore hit a double to left.
But Ty France couldn't score because he is the slowest man alive.
It was the left field, so I don't blame him. But also... yeah, any other player would be thinking about rounding that base
borderline moving backwards. Watching him run to second is like watching Michael Jackson moonwalk to first. He's
moving backwards, bro.
It is. Oh, I love you, Ty France, but speed is not your strong suit.
Yeah.
He even dropped weight. He dropped a lot of weight in the offseason. You'd think, hey, you're not carrying that wagon behind you anymore. Maybe that's a couple MPHs. Wrong.
You'd be mistaken.
Earlier in the season, we watched him go from 6th percentile in speed to 5th percentile in speed.
He's
So
actively getting slower.
I don't want to know what it's at now. It can't be worse than 5th percentile. Come on. But he needs to speed it up, man. Rojas has been really good. He's been putting the bat on the ball. He hit a piss missile up the middle on a dick-high fastball. And Singer reached out with his bare hand to try to catch that.
Oh, my God.
This was hit so hard right past him.
Yeah, this one was crazy. Rojas hits a piss missile right up the middle. It ends up being caught by the shortstop at his shoestrings.
Yeah.
But, Singer reached out for something going easily 105 plus off the bat.
Reactionary.
And yes, it's reactionary, but like, I'm a pitcher too, or was a pitcher. I still am. But that is, they teach you that in coach pitch.
You never reach your pitching
You
hand out.
never
for the ball.
put your bare hand out for the ball. And this thing was a rocket, and luckily it missed Singer's hand because there's no way it wouldn't be a broken hand after that.
For sure.
We're happy to see that he didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
So you never want to see anybody get injured, but someone like that especially. And yeah, that could have been really bad. We're really lucky the ball missed his hand.
Well, it still sucked. Bobby Witt Jr. was positioned nicely to catch the ball, and that hit up the middle would have scored 2 more runs. So they got out of that inning. But Kirby settled in nicely after struggling through the first couple. He was very pitch efficient. He went 1-2-3 into third, puts the pressure back on Singer quickly, and the Mariners jumped on him. Julio singles and moves to third on a single by Polanco. Cal singles on an almost home run. Do you guys remember this one?
Longest single in franchise history.
He hits
probably.
one off the wall and couldn't go to second because the runner didn't know if he needed to.
He had to tag.
So he was kind of in between first and second. But either way, he singles, and Julio did score on that. But then Nuke Raley comes up and fires an RBI single and scores Polanco too. And then after that, things kind of go badly, and Garver and France strike out to end the rally. Didn't even put the ball in play with runners on base, but 4-0 Mariners after the third inning.
Also, this whole pod has been really big on Luke Raley getting more playing time. He's getting more playing time recently, and he's doing awesome.
He's great.
He's great. He's a good player. He should be in the lineup every day.
Very
Give him
good.
the time, and he'll show you.
He's
That's
been in there
exactly
more.
what he's doing,
Yeah,
and I'm happy. Love
too.
seeing it.
he's awesome.
Yes.
We need him.
Yes.
Crucial.
George Kirby goes out there in the fourth. 1-2-3 inning again. Smooth sailing, very efficient. The fifth inning, Cal throws out Polanco at second base. It was an overturned call. It was a great catch and tag by who was out there? I don't think it was Dylan. Maybe it was
Polanco?
Maybe.
To Polanco? That was so confusing.
whoever
listening
was
on the
at
radio.
second base. Yeah,
Yeah,
You
Polanco.
said Polanco fast enough, it sounds like Blanco.
Yeah.
I half the time had no idea who they were talking about.
I had an English teacher named Polanco as well, so I get that in the mixes. So I'm very confused with Polanco, Polanco. But yeah, either way, Cal throws out a guy in the fifth,
Some guy.
and also with George Kirby pitching, Cal Raleigh is setting up in crazy places. He's not just behind the plate reaching anymore.
They did this weird thing. Yeah, it was like the sixth inning, 2 strikes on the guy, and Cal was set up it was a right-handed hitter, and he was set up completely in the left-handed batter's box. Like it was the weirdest setup. You sometimes see catchers will set up way outside if they want to get the hitter to chase on a slider or something like that, like they plan for that. But they were throwing fastballs, and Cal was set up in the other batter's box. I had never seen anything like that. Also, the Royals hitters were more disciplined. They didn't even fish for it. Not even check swings. So I don't know what happened in the scouting report where they thought, hey, if you set up 8 feet outside, this is gonna work.
I think it's more of a psychological thing for Kirby because he naturally maybe thinks about squaring up the catcher and where he's stanced up, right? So he throws the pitch in the strike zone more often than he doesn't.
Right.
So then they're like, if you move the catcher, it moves his eye line and it makes him think a different way about where that pitch needs to be. But it does make it more obvious for the batter. They can see it out of the corner of their eye that Cal Raleigh's
all the way over there
in the other batter's box. So it's obvious where the pitch is going and what they're trying to do. So they need to work on that. It might be a thing where they're introducing George to feeling that pitch and letting him do that early, and they'll move Cal back in slowly as that progresses so that he can work outside of the zone, which is a tactic he needs to develop, get the swing and miss out of the zone to be a Cy Young candidate, like I was saying early this season. So I think they're just trying to do that.
I really like your take on that, Matt. That was really good thought process.
Yeah. I got a question for you guys about Cal Raleigh.
What's up?
He's been doing that thing where he sets up with his leg way out to the side, which I didn't see him do a lot before, but I've seen it more recently. What's the advantage to that? Does it just help your knees not get sore? Or are you trying to throw off the batter who can see your foot? In his peripherals?
I think he's trying to get that big dumper low.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's actually kind of funny that you brought it up. And we could talk about just this topic for an hour, which we won't do. But there has been a huge shift in general over the last few years of how catchers set up. Because it used to be just traditional squat, hand there. But now, yes, you'll see catchers dropping one leg or
swing
down.
their leg way out to the side.
Gary
I can't do it,
Sanchez
but-
was doing that.
And so that's more so of just the game adapting and different stuff with the coaching staff and seeing how you're set up could just to catch a ball, to frame a pitch. There's a whole bunch of things that go into that.
Does it help you pop up quicker to throw to second at all?
I would imagine
Is that part of it?
I would imagine they're doing it more with runners on base, so they're in a better position to block a slider, say. If you're trying to strike a guy out, but there's runners on base and you need to be in a good position to go slide and block a down and out slider, they need to be already primed to go get that and be able to pop up. And I think it's kind of a thing where they will do it with runners on more likely than not, unless it's just a comfort thing for them.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, different catchers have different things they do based on their size and their ability. So,
and my memory could be a little off on this, but I think I remember old A's catcher Kurt Suzuki being one of the first people to like drop in, like start doing weird stuff with his catcher's stance rather than just the traditional. I'm sure throughout time there's been weird things here or there, but Kurt Suzuki, I feel, was kind of the innovator of like, oh, I can completely like renovate my stance and kind of change for the strategy of each pitch.
Yeah, help the pitcher and help be strategized stance wise for whatever's happening on the field. Yeah, he's good callback to Kurt Suzuki.
Big fan.
All right, well we're here Monday, first game against the Royals, the middle of the game. And Kirby was missing barrels all day. They were swinging missing a lot. And when they did hit the ball, it was for poor and weak contact. He retired the last 16 of 18 batters through the sixth inning. So he was on all day. He had his best stuff, and he was getting guys to chase out of the zone, which is what we like. And we just had the whole conversation about Cal setting up outside the zone. And even when they were in the zone, he was mixing it up enough to get weak contact. It was awesome. And Kirby's our guy, man. We need him to be like that all the time. Through 6, he was amazing.
Another impressive thing about that outing is that clearly in the first inning, he wasn't with his best stuff. You hit 2 batters in the first inning, that's a surefire sign that your stuff isn't clicking right away. And he managed to work through that and just pitch dominant baseball after making the adjustments. Like, our young pitching staff does such veteran quality things to like up their game or like make adjustments in game. And,
for example, we've seen Kirby get emotional and he can get mad, but he did it just right. He used that to focus up and get it started right away instead of just feeding into that and spiraling off after hitting the first 2 batters that's something he hates
out
the
of
most.
The bases loaded jam and then
cruised
shut down
all day.
Yep.
So very veteran stuff.
Very cool to see.
And then getting this game though, like the rest of this game, I felt like I was listening to playoff baseball. I was at home. I had it on the Amazon going just throughout the house. And I was doing chores and I had to stop and like this game was intense.
It was intense.
The Royals battled back after Kirby left the game.
The Royals have been a really good team all year, too. They've been a surprise in the Central, and they added to their team to make a really solid team. They actually started playing good baseball halfway through last year. If you remember, we played tough games against the Royals in August and September, I think, last year. So they've really turned it on. And, after Kirby went into the 7th, and an error by Urias and a single to left didn't help him, so he got a ground ball but didn't get a double play. And did we have anyone even warming up at that time? I didn't hear anyone was warming up, and all of this was going on, whereas the 7th inning, an error, a hit, he struck out a guy, got a ground ball, and got 2 outs, and I didn't hear anyone was warming up that whole time. Someone
I don't know.
had to
Could be that they wanted to keep Kirby out there.
He was great.
Maybe they wanted to keep the streak going. That's not a good reason to leave your starter out there.
I think they had someone warming up, but they just didn't mention it when I was listening. But either way, Kirby went 7 complete innings, 3 hits, 0 walks, 0 earned runs, and 6 strikeouts, and pitched out of all the jams he got himself into. Amazing stuff by our ace, George Kirby.
Woo. But then we got into the Mariners bullpen, and it was a little shaky, and suddenly our lead wasn't so comfortable.
Little Stanek panic.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's been happening. I mean, He's really good at getting 2 outs.
Did it again.
He did it again, man. And he did come out and strike out Salvador Perez, who's been killing us at home in Seattle. The last 2 series he's been here, he's been owning us. One of the series, he had like 3 home runs. But
he's been going off.
So we
and he's
struck
old.
out. Yeah, he is. He's one of the leaders in offense in general. Him and Bobby Witt are the 2 guys going off for the Royals. And he's like, 36 or something.
Perez is crushing.
He can hit fastballs like nobody.
It's great.
Yeah. So we ended up striking out Sal, which was huge. But then Massey, their second baseman, does the damage for 2 runs and hits one on the gap and it was a misplayed ball again.
I mean, this is like a broken record scratch. I think it was it Julio and Mitch?
Yeah, it was.
Julio and Mitch. Again, it was a ball that got through the hole, so it's on the ground, so they're not communicating over a fly ball at this time. But it's on the ground, and they're both taking an angle to it, and they run into each other trying to field the ground ball. It shoots through for a little bit longer. The runners were able to advance, scores runs.
Definitely an extra base and an extra run there.
And it just like, our conversations fluctuate week in and week out. But how long can we keep talking about these defensive miscommunications? Errors happen, okay? I get that. Defense isn't always going to be 100%. But these collisions in the outfield, we are so beyond fortunate. They've all been minor.
Yeah, but you're right. This is 3 or 4 weeks now in a row that we've talked about this problem.
Yes. I don't know who our offense or defensive outfield coach is, but holy shit, your next off day, run communication drills, run calling it, figure this out, because it's only a matter of time before this stops being minorly inconvenient and starts being a huge thing when it leads to an injury from 2 outfielders colliding.
For sure. And if
it needs to be fixed.
If we've been talking about it for weeks and then that happens, goddamn.
Dude,
we
for
called
real.
it. But we've been talking about it since the Houston series, and they said it's loud in there. They're making excuses, but no, dude, there's no excuses. They need to look at each other and communicate better.
Yes.
And that's all there is to it. So they ended up scoring. There's 4-2 M's in the 8th inning. Munoz came in and closed the door after the Stanek panic. He got 2 outs. There's runners on base. They asked Munoz to come in and get 4 outs, and he did the damn thing. He came in and struck out the guy in the 8th inning, or I don't know, maybe got a fly ball, but either way,
the last out.
He got the last out, and he pitched the 9th.
4-out save. So good for him.
That's amazing for him. He needs that, and he's looked really great lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we were very critical about Munoz. Garrett and I, especially early on.
We were worried.
And we felt like he didn't have that kind of the ice in the veins, the kind of shut down demeanor that you need.
Eric Gagne type shit.
Yeah.
It's not in his demeanor, but he's very capable of it. He's just so soft-spoken, almost shy.
Yes.
And he's not out there with any intensity, but his skill set is perfect. I mean, he crushes. He gets out there, he'll shut him down. He'll even do it 4 outs.
He had a
5
5 out.
outs.
He had a
5
5 out
outs.
save.
Yeah, we're learning that he's able to come in the 8th and then just roll through the 9th. I think it's actually better for him sometimes to kind of go warm up in the 8th inning and then come out for the 9th fucking ready to go in game speed already because he's already there.
He definitely had me worried, though, and I'm not going to hide that. I said I don't think he's that guy.
Oh, yeah, we're all worried for sure.
He's for sure that guy.
He blew
he
2
is that
saves.
And he is that guy. And it's funny because, as we just mentioned, we've talked about the defensive miscommunications over the last few weeks. One thing we haven't talked about for a few weeks is closer in non-save situations, which was something we talked about all the time.
Hasn't been a huge issue recently.
It hasn't, because Munoz...
That's why we're not talking about it.
That's my point, though.
Okay.
Because Munoz is coming in, he's getting these 4-out saves. He's coming in the 8th and closing that out and then getting the 9th as well.
So Sunday, when the A's were rallying back at the end of the game to make it 8-4, they had Munoz come in and say close the game. It has to be within 3 runs to get a close, but it was within 4, and they had Munoz come in and close that one, and I feel like that was heating him up. It was like, okay, get this one, because we're going into a hot series with the Royals, which it was, and he came in and got that super good save that on Monday, and that's what we need, man. And Nuke Raley, 3-hit night, including a home run and a stolen base.
Yeah, dude.
That dude's looking like a young Hunter Pence out there. He's kind of awkward in the field, but he's got a cannon, and he's got a ton of power, and he plays outfield. He looks like Hunter Pence, and I love it, man.
I was a big fan of Hunter Pence on the Giants. There was a weird thing that kind of happened it was like near the end of Hunter Pence's career, but fans just kind of would make signs to like mock him, but in jest and like in a fun way. It would just be stuff like Hunter Pence can't parallel park.
Yeah.
And like
Hunter Pence never learned how to tie his shoes.
yeah, it was just like really funny things like that. And I always liked Hunter Pence. So if you're comparing someone to Hunter Pence, it's a good player to be compared to.
He was awesome young in his career too, and he was a big dude, 6'4", like 200, weird, awkward-looking dude in the field, but plays a really nice right field as well as hits the ball hard. So that's what we like.
Hell yeah!
Mariners got the win.
Yeah, and then Monday night, right before midnight, little sneaky trade happened. We got rid of Tyson Miller, and we picked up Jake Slaughter.
Yeah.
Minor league player for the Cubs.
Right.
Yes.
I've heard about this dude just because I collect baseball cards a little bit.
I've heard about him because his name is badass. He sounds like a wrestler.
Yeah, Jake Slaughter.
Jake Slaughter for the heavyweight championship.
Sunday. Jake Slaughter. Debut for the Mariners.
Defends the belt.
Has he even played in the major leagues?
He has not. He's 27 years old.
Okay.
Cinderella story.
I mean, you never know when someone's going to...
I've heard his name. He's an infielder.
I knew
apparently he's had pretty good numbers in the minors. Like
27's not old. It's just old to be breaking the major league level, and doesn't mean he's not talented.
Yeah.
He's been playing ball.
Mitch Haniger was a bit of a late bloomer.
Yes, he was.
Sure,
So you never know.
Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
True.
You never know. Maybe this is the next guy. Who knows? But his minor league numbers are okay, I think. You know, he's had 5 home runs this season, slashing 285, 373, 828 OPS.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
So I don't know about how he'll fare in the majors or if we'll see him.
That's decent.
Because we have
average.
2 third basemen already.
Sure, yeah.
I
But Rojas is so versatile.
Yeah.
We can use him at third, at second, and with Polanco down with
Is Haggerty
hamstring.
on the squad when Rojas is so good at every position?
We needed a little more depth, apparently, so we traded from our plethora of bullpen arms, major league ready, for a little bit of infield depth because the Polanco injury happened.
And that's fine. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Cool. I don't know if we'll see him. May or may not.
I don't know. Could you imagine getting a Mariners jersey? Like, let's say he's even a cool number too, like 28, like 28 Slaughter on the back. That's a cool jersey to have.
You know the 80s band Slaughter?
Yes.
Kip Slaughter?
That's cool.
I mean,
He makes his last name is so cool. He makes the first name Kip work.
it's true. That's kind of what I'm saying. And you'd think it'd be like a heavy band. They're not that heavy. Like hair metal kind of stuff. The stadium, arena rock. But I think the band name is so funny. Like
Slaughter.
And it's just some guy named Kip.
Hey, Mom, I'm going to see Slaughter.
girl. Something like,
Mom, I'm going to see this band Slaughter this weekend.
Well, it's
don't worry,
okay.
Mom. They're
His first name's Kip. Well,
you can go.
Okay.
All right. So that's Monday.
The opening band is Death Before Dying on a twisted river that's bleeding. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, Mom.
All right.
Yeah, that was Monday.
Let's crush this. Let's move through the recap.
Mariners take the first.
One thing I want to mention though about the Tyson Miller trade. Good move by the Mariners. Miller was. Good. I would give him a check plus if he was an elementary school student and he turned in his stat sheet to me. I would give him check plus.
Yeah, check plus, dude.
You got a check plus. However, the Mariners are, like you mentioned, from our strengths, are ripe in the bullpen. We have plenty of arms to go around. We know bullpen arms can be finicky and you can be good and then just drop off a cliff with no rhyme or reason. So the fact that we were able to take those strengths and put it into a guy who has potential, I kind of like the move. I don't know if I was so ready to just give away Tyson Miller, but
I was surprised that Tyson Miller was even on our roster at first, and he impressed me.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was, and I was like, okay, he fits right in.
I don't remember what day it was, but I remember us talking about, we had a terrible, terrible game, and I was like, Tyson Miller was the only good thing to happen in this game.
Yeah.
So.
He's been pretty good. And the way I'm thinking about it, the way Patrick is saying it, is we produce a bunch of Penn Murphys and just pump them out, We
do.
Just a bunch of those guys who quietly get it done the best of them. So it's okay to trade from our strength to get a guy like that.
He played guitar.
Yeah, Penn Murphy is actually really
He's
fun.
got a nice
I think he
country
got
accent.
hurt this year. I think he was a Red
that
Sox.
sucks.
He got hurt.
I thought we got him to the Giants or some shit. I don't know. I can't remember.
he's somewhere.
Yep.
Red Sox.
All the best, Penn Murphy.
Red Sox?
Yeah, I think he's Red Sox.
He's got a nice country accent. Plays the guitar.
Well, the Mariners took the first game on Monday against the Royals. The Royals have been a really good team.
Yes.
Tuesday, we go in with Logan Gilbert. He looks great off the start. 4 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. He gets a double play, faces the minimum all the way through 2 innings. The first 5 strikeouts were all on the 4-seam fastball, so he was setting them up and then knocking them down with that 4-seamer. He had that confidence to throw it early in the game like that, and that makes all of his other pitches more effective from the get-go because the other team is thinking fastball all day. That's the first thing in their head. So Logan killed it, man.
Logan for Cy Young.
The Mariners ended up losing this game 4-2, even though Logan Gilbert had a decent first couple innings. He actually had a great start, but our bullpen kind of blew this one, right? It was the 7th inning.
It was
That's right.
It was Logan.
This is the thing, man. I've seen Logan go into the 7th inning a couple times where we have the opportunity to get a fresh arm in there, and he gets burned. We're leaving him in there 1 or 2 batters too late. This was a great game. The Mariners scored 1 run in the 4th, and then Casey ended up scoring 3 runs in the 7th and 1 in the 8th. But the 3 runs in the 7th really burned our boy Logan.
Yeah, the Mariners. So this one, and this is also good because it can lead into a broader topic that I wanted to talk to you guys about. But Logan was absolutely dominant through 7 innings of shutout ball. The Mariners have 1 run, and Logan is just dealing. Gets into the 7th inning. Gets into a little bit of trouble and gives up a 3-run home run. A real mistake that he made all the way in the 7th,
Late mistake.
Bummer. But this is what I'm curious and I wanted to talk to you guys about is we have criticized Scott in the past for pulling starters when they're still good to go and going into our bullpen.
Look, I don't think that's been the case this year, but in the past, yes. So I think they're making the adjustment to where we're letting them go long.
Yes, but I'm saying on the flip side, now it seems like there's been times where he's let starters run maybe a little bit too long, and it always hindsight 2020.
Yeah, now we're asking him to be perfect.
So
that's a lot to ask for
So
someone.
the pendulum swings both ways, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Would you rather have it pulled too early or pulled too late?
I mean, you got to find that perfect moment, and that takes a lot of feel.
That's what I'm saying.
That
We
takes
can't
a lot
ask
of
somebody to be perfect.
I know, but you got to have the in-game feel to say, okay, we do need a fresh arm here, even though we want our guy to know that we trust him and he wants to go out there that badly. I think they need to be able to pull that guy at the right time, even after the first batter in that inning, instead of letting him deal with the traffic after he either walks or gives up a hit to the first batter with no outs. Immediately have that guy warming up, and so that when that happens, let him know, like, if that leadoff hitter gets on, we're pulling you. If any hitter gets on, this inning, we're going to go get the fresh arm. And so the pitcher has that in their mind, and they go attack each batter.
I don't want pitchers going out there with that mindset.
Well, I mean, that means they need to get every batter, and they know it. But if
They need
there's
to do that
if
every
there's
time they
traffic,
go out there.
if there's traffic in the 7th inning and it's at the end of their line, they need to be mentally prepared to just attack as many batters as they can, and they know that they don't need to deal with traffic when there's someone on. They just go get the fresh arm and have them come in with that one runner on and get the best possibility for an out.
If I had to pick, I think it's better to pull the pitcher too early. That's just me.
True.
But you're right. We did spend a lot of time bitching
I'm
about
arguing.
that last
Yeah,
season.
yeah. It's hard. Now, just let me read you guys off the 7th inning,
Yeah.
batter by batter, and see when you would pull
I like
Logan
it. Okay.
if you're
Yeah.
if you're the manager.
I'm managing.
All right. So we are now in the top of the 7th. Logan Gilbert has thrown 6 full shutout innings. He's in the 7th. His pitch count's probably up there a little bit.
What are we talking? 70, 80?
Probably higher than that.
90. 85, 87 pitches.
Let's call it 82.
82.
Okay.
Okay.
First batter of the inning in the 7th. He walks him. Do you write it out or do you pull then?
I let
keep going.
Cal go talk to him.
You let Cal go talk? Okay.
Yeah. Keep going.
Next batter, fielder's choice, but the runner advances to second. So now you got a runner on second, 1 out.
Right there.
Pull
Right.
him.
Right there.
Now see, I would agree with you guys. Do you know
Yes,
what?
You got to have a feel for the game, and they let him fucking roll too
How
long.
long did they let him after that?
Well,
How do we immediately make this call? And they let him keep going.
so
Because hindsight's 2020.
well, hindsight is 20.
How long did
During
they let
the
him go?
game, I was
listen to
thinking
this.
that.
This is gonna piss you guys off.
Okay.
All right. So first batter walks.
Yep.
Fielder's choice, 1 out, runner on second. What do they decide to do with the next guy? They intentionally walk him to set up the double play.
Okay.
Who was it? Who did they walk?
Salvador Perez.
Yeah, I knew it was Sal.
Fair.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's slow.
I'm with you so
Easy
far.
to
But I'm
roll the
saying-
double play, and he's a Mariner killer.
Yeah. But what bothers me that if you're willing to intentionally walk, you should probably go into
Oh,
your bullpen.
I remember what happened. He threw 3 pitches in the dirt, and then they put up the 4 fingers
And
after it was
just
3-0
sang 'em.
already. So they were seeing if he would chase, because they know he's an elite fastball hitter. They'd see if he would chase some shit.
He's not going to chase.
3-0. They were like, just go.
His
Yeah.
pitch count is high.
So they
Save
pitched
the
to
one
him,
pitch. Yeah.
and that's when you pull him. That's when you pull him.
Sure.
But Logan faced the next hitter and struck him out.
Massey, yeah, that's
So
a
now-
big strikeout.
So now
So
you have
now
runner.
Scott's like, I made the right decision. He's thinking, we're killing it.
We're-
right now.
it's like, okay,
and-
momentum.
And the thing is, and you know damn well, Logan.
I mean, that's
Lo-
not when you pull him.
I
Strikes
mean-
the guy out. We're going to go get the fresh arm.
With 2 outs
you
in
know,
the 7th.
And you know damn well Logan is like, no, I can get through 7.
True.
And the manager, this is where it's so rough because the manager wants to trust his pitcher. And you want your pitcher to feel comfortable. And
Yeah,
if
this
he-
is a tight situation.
Yeah, dude. It's tough.
You
It is
got to
tough,
pull
so-
him after that first walk
after the first one.
because you can't let this happen. You can't let that walk turn into a fielder's choice, turn into an intentional walk to set up the double play, turn into a 3-run home run. You can't do it. You can't let your guy go make a mistake on the last pitch of his great fucking day. Logan Gilbert
It is
dominated
unfortunate how
all
it played
day.
out.
Pull him after he walks that first guy.
Little calculated
Or
risk by the manager
After the
there.
fielder's choice with the runner on second, you have to go out and pull him and not intentionally walk Sal, but try to strike him out with a fresh arm. That sucks.
Yeah,
And
that-
said-
I wouldn't even.
I
yeah.
love Logan.
I do.
Logan
And-
for Cy Young.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he had such a dominant start, and I get wanting for him to finish that out. But sure enough, after the 2 outs, runners on first and second, makes a mistake, 3-run homer, and that ended up being the difference. Mitch Haniger tacked one on in the 9th, solo bomb.
Put him in the record books with that one.
Oh, yeah? What is that?
Mitch Haniger, that was his 55th home run at T-Mobile, surpassing Edgar Martinez, Ichiro Suzuki for the 7th most in ballpark history.
Wow.
Not Mariners history. ballpark history.
Mitch.
There's-
But still,
I forget who's at the top of that list, but it's someone who's not a Mariner. That's very frustrating.
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout is very high on that list. I think he tops it.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, Mitch
Well-
Haniger, good job. The Mr. Mariner Mitch Haniger. Actually, like the Mariners are the only team that makes sense for Mitch Haniger to be on.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
I will say I pulled that from Mariners PR on Twitter. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. Mariners
Appreciate
PR
ya.
is the best.
Appreciate you. You know, it's actually kind of funny that we brought up the topic of like, when do you pull the pitcher? Because in the very next game, we ran into a similar situation with Brian Wu.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Wu coming fresh off of injury. So, you know, his arm is a little tuckered. He's not throwing, or he's not at 100 pitches per game. You're going to want to
not
pull.
yet. Yeah.
You're going to want to pull him around 75-ish.
I mean, he did do a few rehab starts and got his pitch count up, but you do want to be careful. You don't want to leave him in too long. He was having a good
I
day.
say good.
He
good
was
decision.
dominant while he was out there pitching, but just like Stanek is really good at getting 2 outs, you can't let him face
Well-
too many batters, like 3 too many batters, because then they're washed and the damage
Should we
gets
say the
done.
Mariners lost the second game of the Royal Series? Did we mention that?
They
Yeah,
lost.
he did to the Logan.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
To lose the game, right?
They
Yes.
lost
Okay.
4-2.
I didn't know if we mentioned that or not.
Yeah, they
So
did.
now
They
we're-
did lose.
So yeah, right. Going into Wednesday, we're 1-1
Yep.
with the Royals.
The
Okay,
rubber
so we got
match.
The rubber match, and Brian Wu is on
Yeah,
the bump.
that's right.
And I remember messaging you guys that day because I was like, they got a pitch limit on Brian Wu, and I was like, ooh, a little early, I think. But what did I just say? I mean,
Yeah.
rather that than get absolutely blown up.
And early on in this Wednesday game, we did kind of run into some of the Mariners on base or like situational hitting
Yep.
that we've run into.
We did.
Mariners had 2 on with no one out.
Beautiful
I
situation.
see where this is going.
Oh, you can see.
It's a nice sunny day, but I see the clouds in the distance.
So the Mariners have 2 on, no one out.
Might
You're
get
thinking,
soggy.
oh, damn, we're sitting really pretty. Wrong. Pop out. Pop out, strike out. So now you have 2 on with 2 outs. Demo walks.
Now we got the bases loaded with 2 outs.
You get the bases loaded, and former Mariners legend / double agent Adam Frazier
That's right.
boots a ball at third.
Adam
It was a
Frazier,
tough play.
Athens.
He's not a third baseman. He had to get over and around the
Playing
ball.
out of position too.
Yeah, I heard that like he's been in the league for like 10 years, and that was like his 4th career game at third base. He never plays third
He
base.
absolutely booted that ball, though. It came so hard off his glove, just like there was no shot, dude.
And
I wish I could link the clip of Adam Frazier mic'd up being like,
I might be the slowest player in the league.
Yeah, he gets like throwing out, running to third, and he's like, I'm so slow.
And he played with Ty France, and he's saying this.
He has firsthand
he
experience.
said that before he
Self-deprecating
played with
guy.
Ty France, but he's like,
Maybe that caused
good.
him to rethink. He
Well, I'm not the slowest
man,
player.
I'm not. There's Ty France out there.
I just love
Adam Frazier, Athens, Georgia.
Well, Frazier's booted ball ended up,
Scoring 1 run
with the bases loaded. We scored that 1 run, and it was unearned.
and then a ground out.
Yep.
And I was
no Seattle special today.
That's
I-
right. We got 1.
I
The
was
unearned run.
I was
saved it.
seething in the group chat though. I was like, 1 run and it's unearned. I was pissed.
I remember a couple weeks ago, the fielder's choice RBI double play I was mad about that the same way, dude.
Like,
It's
even when the
terrible.
Mariners score, it's disappointing.
Yeah. It's so Mariners, it hurts. But we got to run. Yay.
Continue to win ball games. How?
So Wu is dominant, got into trouble in the 6th.
Okay.
Scott left him in too long. And Gabe the Babe came in against his old team and shut it down. But Wu had already been past his mark there.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to see back-to-back starts of Gilbert getting into like a little bit of trouble, then giving up the 3-run bomb.
And after.
And then the day after, Wu is getting into trouble. He's already on a pitch count. So it should be no thing to pull him when the first sign of trouble arises.
Yeah.
You know? And they didn't. They did pull him eventually, and Gabe the Babe comes in and just does Gabe the Babe thing.
Should mention
He's great.
that the opposing pitcher that day was Marsh, and we made that dude work way early in the game. Second inning, he was at 50 pitches.
That's the third game in a row.
Think he got pulled in the 5th inning, and he was already at 100 pitches. Chase that dude way the fuck off the field.
That's 3 games in
Got
a
to
row.
him. Yeah.
From Alex Wood to Brady Singer to Andrew Marsh. Marsh. Randy Marsh. But yeah, we ended up being in the lead late in the game. Rojas gets an RBI in the first pitch that he sees against a left-handed pitcher.
Oh, we have to talk about that.
Raley's been hitting lefties okay. Rojas has been hitting lefties okay. Hitters hit okay. That's all we need to say.
Thank you.
Fuck all this left-handed, no lefty-lefty matchup shit. We're finally starting. No. See, we're finally starting to get into the mix.
Look at this guy.
What? You think I don't want lefties to take lefty at bats? Some guys suck, but some guys can do it.
We know.
I've been saying for weeks, Canzone,
Yes.
Rojas, and Raley should be taking at bats against lefties.
Love it. Yes.
They've been doing it, man. And absolutely, Rojas gets that against a lefty, and RBI single from Raley as well, another left-handed hitter. So that's what we're talking about. Lefty, no problem.
And
it's not a problem at all.
And I mean, our track record speaks for itself. The stuff that we talk about, like, it has knowledge based on it. We talked about Luke Raley getting more playing time. He's getting it. Look what's happening. We're talking about letting lefties hit against lefties. Major league hitters can hit pitching.
Get out of here.
And I swear to
No
God,
way.
it's true.
A lefty can't hit a lefty. What are you talking about?
It couldn't be done. And look at that. Rojas comes in. They pull their pitcher to put in a lefty to face Rojas. And I was thinking to myself, I was at work that day. I was listening to it on the radio. And I was just like, I bet Scott is steaming right now that there is a lefty facing a lefty. And what happens? Sure enough, first pitch, Rojas sees against the lefty, ropes it, RBI single.
You know, I don't think it's Scott. I think Scott's happy to see that. He's been put in a tough situation from the research and front office to force him not to do those types of things where I think he's been wanting to for a while. And now
he makes the call.
I think he can stand there and be like, see? I've been telling you guys we should do this more. I don't know.
So.
I kind of like Scott because he's caught in between what the analytics department wants him to do versus what he wants to do. He does make the call, but you think those calls don't come down from the front of the analytics department most of the time? They fucking do, for sure. Okay. And we've been seeing too much of that, but I do like how much leeway they've given him to do this because we have said, like, he's letting pitchers go later. We're playing hitters in the positions they need to be in during the game, whether it's lefty or not. And this is the type of baseball the Mariners need to play to win, to have all roads to victory available.
Yeah. So, we won that game.
We did.
Was there any more to say about it?
Munoz came in with a 5-out save.
Yeah, Munoz absolutely shut the
the
door
Royals
on their
challenged
ass.
3 times and won all 3 challenges. That sucks, dude.
3
what
times?
the hell?
That had to be a record.
That's what we do.
That's some bad
Don't
calls.
do that against us. That's our thing.
Munoz is that dude, though. He proved it here with this 5-out save. He's becoming that dude. And I have stats on him later. He is a superhuman guy. Like, he is absolutely locked down. And the more pitches than usual, but he did exactly what he needed to do. And we win that game and the series against the Royals.
That's crazy.
It's a really good team in the league.
We needed
And
that series win.
amazing.
Let's move into Thursday. Before Thursday, let's take a break. All right, we're back. And I figured out why Abraham Toro doesn't have 18 stolen bases. In 2021, he had 3 for the Mariners, 3 for the Astros.
Mm-hmm.
It's 12. 12 career stolen bases.
Oh, I thought he was quicker than that.
He's not quick.
No, he's not.
Just needed to clarify that I cannot read.
And I'm
That's
just dumb.
okay.
And I'm just dumb. So.
It took us a long time to figure that out.
It's okay. There's this 1-year role player, second baseman for the Mariners.
Yeah, we're
There's
not-
a rotating cast and crew. It's easy to mix them
It's
all up.
not a shock to anyone watching that we're not very smart.
I can't read, but I'm good at other stuff. None of it academic.
Let's move on to Friday versus the Orioles.
Yeah, let's do that. Thursday.
Thursday was an off day.
Thursday off day.
Nothing happened.
Won
So,
the series against the Royals.
Do have one thing to say about that off day. The Mariners played a 13-game stretch before that. They play a 17-game stretch after that
All East Coast.
until June 3rd, and they have a day off. And then they play another 13-game stretch and don't have a day off till
At least some of those games are at home.
my birthday, June 17th.
So that's what, essentially like 2 off days in a calendar month.
It's insane. This stretch of games is, there's 2 off days in that's 43 game stretch. That's insane.
That is brutal.
So
It's another weird scheduling thing.
we're
Was it
holding up
when you
well.
looked up that is it the Red Sox that who has more games than the Braves? You said it earlier.
Oh, yeah, I noticed this. The
Phillies.
Philadelphia Phillies playing in the AL East in the same division as the Atlanta Braves. The Phillies have played 6 more games than the Braves.
That's wild.
That's a lot.
Delayed games and stuff.
It's
gotta
got to
be.
be rainouts and stuff that
rescheduled?
will like be made up as double headers later.
That's a pretty big.
That's a
difference, though.
discrepancy.
Yeah.
And it's not like the Phillies were one of the teams that played in Korea to start the season, so it would make sense that they had an extra series. They just played all their games.
That was a 2-game series in Korea, though. It's not even that much.
Sure, the Dodgers at the beginning of the season, it was a discernible difference between all the stats,
Yeah.
all the players,
When you've
had
only-
and
yeah.
When
everything.
you've only played 10 games, it makes a
Yeah,
difference.
everything's evened
This
out
far
now.
into the season, that is a lot. 6-game discrepancy.
They're gonna have to make up a lot of games.
yeah.
The Braves
Oh
And,
yeah.
and that's
How
going
does that
to
work for fantasy baseball? I guess we'll figure that out.
double headers.
We don't need to talk about that right
It's
now.
double headers.
But that is going to haunt them later on in the season, and in some kind of like silver lining, it's kind of nice that the Mariners are getting this atrocious, brutal road trip out of the way now rather than like August
Yeah,
or something.
before the halfway mark is real
Yeah.
nice.
I'll take
get-
more rest days late in the season than early.
like get that bullshit out of the way. Have the long ass crazy East Coast road trips. Also, what's brutal about this road trip is they will play in Washington, the Washington D.C. They'll play the Washington Nationals, and then travel back home and play without an off day. That is brutal.
Yeah, that's
always
rough.
sucks.
That
we talk
always
about
sucks.
it all the time, going East Coast to West Coast without a day off.
I'm sure it'll be a day game on the East Coast and then travel back for a night game
Even
on the West
still.
Coast, but it still sucks.
Zavala days or Cal Raleigh toughs it out days. We love that.
Well,
Should I put my meme on the screen? I
yeah,
might throw up the old meme.
do it.
Do it.
You know, if I do it, it'll be right here. Let's see if I can edit that. A little challenge for myself this week.
There you go.
Well, Friday,
We've
kicking
been
off
reading
this,
books about video editing.
we're learning a lot. Video editing for dummies has taught me
No.
so much.
Let's talk about Friday.
Friday's the first game of this 17-game stretch against the Baltimore Orioles, one of the toughest teams in the American
Oh, man, they're
League.
so good.
The
Bryce
toughest
Miller
team.
on the bump. How did he do? Bad.
Oh, Bryce blowing it.
Not good.
Damn.
Shitty. That sucks. Hey, but Dylan Moore leads off the game with a double, which is what I love to see.
Dylan Moore.
First inning leadoff hits. Doubles.
Using him as a leadoff man again pays
Crushing.
off again.
Twice in 1 week.
Like I've been saying, he's one of the most ready players on our team. He's very twitchy and quick, and he can adjust to off-speed pitches as well as catch up to the fastball. Ripping balls down the left field line recently. I love what Dylan Moore has brought to our offense.
I love ripping balls.
I just had a vasectomy.
Garrett's a ball ripping expert.
Yep.
That's right.
I rip balls like Dylan Moore.
Dylan Moore ripping them down.
Bars.
That's what they're gonna say. It'd be like, "Oh, I had a Dylan Moore this weekend." Oh, you had a vasectomy? Yeah, I ripped balls.
Okay.
Well, Dylan Moore's the man.
Yes.
Garver ends up singling with the infield in and driving him in, just like he did early in the week. Does the same thing again, which is great. I love Dylan Moore, and Mitch Garver hitting with Dylan Moore on base works out, but otherwise, I don't know. We'll see. Garver still hasn't proven anything to me.
That's true. I mean, the week we talked the most shit about him, he hit 2 home runs, which is awesome.
He's been a little bit better, but he's still very
Patrick
middling.
brought up whenever we talk shit about players, they do just enough to get us to stop talking shit for 1 week.
They do.
And then we remember how bad they were, and we're like, oh, yeah, hey, can't let him get away with that.
So
this is a topic that I would usually keep behind the scenes, but it's kind of a funny bit. I thought, like, what if we did an episode where we just, because, like we said, like, if we shit on the Mariners enough, the players start to perform. Like the day you sent a meme about Haggerty and Savali sucking, and then they both hit home runs that day.
yeah.
So if, like, we did an episode where we just shit talk the Mariners,
Tear 'em one.
talk
Every
about
player.
how everyone sucks, and then watch the Mariners have the best week in franchise history.
Hey, you know what we did, guys? We made this podcast almost 2 years ago now about the All-Star break a couple years ago.
Yeah.
End of June. But the Mariners went on a 14-game winning streak the minute we put out an episode.
That is true.
So I will say we do have a good track record. And when we do shit on the Mariners, they do just enough to keep us.
They do.
They do it. Yeah. That's right. That's Mariners shit right
God,
there.
baseball's so weird and superstitious. It has nothing to do with us. And
They're
we're
getting-
like,
I
if
know.
we do this, then
Counterpoint,
But
I
why-
think it has everything to
Okay.
do with us.
Why
There
does
you
it
go.
make sense that it has a lot to do with us then?
That's just baseball.
oh god,
Well, I just talked about how Demo led off the game with a double and scored.
I think I talked about that, but okay.
Well, we did that, but also he cost us a run the same inning.
He
in
did.
the bottom of the first. So, like we're saying, the minute we talk about something, the opposite happens.
Yeah.
Someone does good, we talk about it, they do bad. Someone does bad, we say they did bad, and they do good. And now Dylan Moore does good and does bad.
Okay, yeah. Oh, defensive miscues.
Yes,
Still.
defensive miscues.
Yeah.
Dylan Moore threw a ball into right field trying to turn a double play is what happened.
Yeah.
Dylan Moore, that was a costly error. He didn't take that extra step. He looked like he was going to go to first base and made a decision late and threw that ball into right field. So then the O's just had the door wide open. The runners moved up immediately, and they scored 4 runs on us without us recording an out. So it was 5-1 O's after we scored in the first inning, and that hurt. After the first run, it felt great, and then the bottom of the first inning happened, and goddamn.
And honestly, this isn't even just a Mariners thing. This is a baseball thing. If your team gives up 4 runs without recording a single out in the game, that ball game is probably over.
Get
Feeling
shit on.
pretty low. at
Yeah,
that point.
and I mean, you look at everything just like, obviously your starting pitcher isn't working or like not starting early. And then just like the morale dump of holy shit, they've now scored 4 runs and there's 0 outs in the first inning. That kind of shit is just demoralizing, and it takes down a team. It takes down World Series contenders. It's a very hard hole to come out of, and the Mariners didn't. I mean, after that first inning, this game was a wash. The Orioles just tacked it on. They were swinging early. They were swinging often.
Extra base hits are their strength, and they put it all over us, man. Their extra base hits after extra base hits just destroyed us.
It was bad. I stopped listening, I think, in the 8th inning. I was like, just please make it end. Oh, I can make it end.
Seems
Radio
like
off.
the only player we're talking about this game is Dylan Moore, who scored a run in the first and hit a home run to
How
make it
about-
5-2 in the middle
How
of the
about
game.
Brian Wu
Yeah?
pitching into the 7th inning, continuing the streak of no team has chased a starter before.
No, that's a flip that.
Flip it.
We have not had a starter go into the 7th inning against us.
Yeah.
Against us.
Yes.
Oh.
No starter has
I
gone.
thought no one has chased our starter.
Oh no,
I see.
we've been chased.
Oh, yeah.
But,
that'd be insane
yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah.
way
Pushed into
around.
the 7th.
Yeah, and then
Matt was freaking out. Matt was like, put Rojas in the pitch.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Matt, this game is over." He's like, "I want to hear the end because I want to know if Haggerty's going to pitch today."
Yeah, I was like, leave it on the radio because I want to see who pitches. It was already 9-2 at that point.
That game was funny. Also, I try to never turn off a Mariners game, even in stuff like that. I try to write it out. But I was at work that day, and the Orioles were just tacking on more and more runs. So I went against my intuition, and I turned the game off for about 30 minutes. And I was like, "Oh, I can't do this. You know, what if miracles happen?"
And you missed it.
I turned the game back on. This is not even a joke. I turned the game back on in my work truck, and it's like, and that is a high drive to right field, and the Orioles hit another one. And I was just like, son of a bitch.
Turn it right back off.
Yeah, like I didn't miss shit.
They just doubled their lead against the Mariners.
You just hit a 7-run home run. They're scoring touchdowns out here. I'm like, fuck.
9-2 was the final score on Friday.
Not much else to say.
I got
That
a couple things to say about that
Okay,
game.
I don't.
Julio went up and robbed Santander of a home run. He was
And
over
that
that
was
wall.
no little. I mean, he was full extension.
3 feet over the wall.
That
was
was a great
way
play.
up there. So that was something that we can be happy about. Ty France played second base.
Oh yeah.
Jorge Polanco has been out with hamstring tightness, and they won't put him on the IL already. He's been out for 4 games straight, and we won't just put him on the fucking 10-day. I don't understand why they didn't do that initially, but anyway, Ty France had to move in the shuffle to second base because they wanted to keep his bat in the lineup instead of putting Leo Rivas in defensively because we were behind by so much. And it didn't really matter, but it sucks to see that we're doing stuff like that instead of just I guess they have to keep the bat in the lineup at that point, but it doesn't, I don't know. Ty France at second base makes 0 sense.
Well, you know what's funny is, I don't know if you guys know this, Ty France came up as a second baseman.
Yeah.
That's his like OG position.
Second and third.
Yeah. I don't know how.
I guess he was younger and had more range at the time. But
Maybe he was in the 7th percentile of speed at that point.
So
before
he
he
went-
dropped to 6 and 5 and now just in the depths.
He went from a second baseman to a third baseman to a first baseman because he lost range all throughout. And there's better players. As you get higher in the tiers, he could hit pretty well. But defensively, they're like, yeah, we'll play the hitter where we can. And he ends up where he is at first base, where I don't know if his production is enough to even do that. He's about to be 30 years old, and Ty France.
Let's talk about that right after we talk about the Saturday game,
let's
which
do
should go
that.
pretty quick. But yeah, we're going to talk about Ty France here in a minute.
Yeah, today, Saturday. The day
Saturday.
we record. Luis Castillo, who has been on an absolute tear for the last six starts he's made.
Yeah.
He did it again. I mean, at the beginning of this game, the Orioles are one of the best offenses, the best offense in the American League. And he got hit around in the second and third inning for more extra base hits. The outfield out there is ridiculous. They're hitting triples off us like nobody's business. But triples,
Oh my God,
doubles.
what, 3 triples today?
Dude,
Or
yesterday.
between the two games?
Yeah, at least one.
A lot of triples.
I
one or
mean, they
two
hit
today.
2 today.
Yeah.
4 triples? Okay. Cool.
So Castillo got hit around a little bit, but limited the damage to 2 runs.
Great.
Again. So he ended up with a line of 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts, which is weird.
That's an odd stat line for him.
Yeah.
But also, the fact that he did well in this game really surprised me because, and we've talked about this before on the pod, Castillo struggles in colder weather. And this game was delayed.
know.
This game was delayed by 3 hours for a rain delay.
I mean, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. That's good baseball.
We
And
had
that's what
one
I'm saying,
really
but-
cold day in Seattle where he went out there and was lights out.
I
Yeah.
would say
He
his
crushed
line.
that day.
Yeah, he did.
I think he's over the cold weather thing. He's got long sleeves.
I was just
He's a long sleeve guy.
He is a long sleeve guy.
I was actually very fortunate that the game was in rain delay today because I had to go to a dance recital
Sick.
for little kids, and
Wasn't like baseball the musical or anything.
No, it was kind of a underwater theme.
Oh.
But however, if you ever get the chance to see like a little kid's dance recital, I say go to it because
I've seen one, yeah.
I saw one today and it is top tier entertainment. Oh my God.
I'm sure it's hilarity.
You've got kids that are kind of just doing their own moves when they want to, but there'll be like one kid that is choreographed and is on time, but because everyone else around them is essentially amoebas, you don't really know who's hitting their marks, and it's a lot of fun. Don't go by yourself, by the way, but if you have like a brother you haven't talked to in a while and he's like, hey, do you want to come to my little kid's dance recital? Say yes.
Eat an edible.
Yeah, just have fun with it. But as long as like they're before 10, because once they hit 10, they kind of know the moves.
All right.
They kind of know the moves,
All right,
and
we
then
get
it's
it,
just
we
not
get
as fun.
It's like
But-
that scene in Little Rascals where Spanky and Alfalfa and they get the frog in their leotards.
Yeah. It's just
They messed up the whole. Okay.
Oh my God.
Good movie. Good movie.
have some fun with it. So, anyways, rain delay was a godsend for me because I got
4-foot man eating chicken. All right. Go ahead.
Just
but,
warming up my vocalizer.
the rain delay helped me out today. Also, it really made me realize how fortunate we are as Mariners fans to
Have a roof.
to have a roof or have a retractable roof.
Oh yeah.
Because
Bro.
imagine this though.
How are you going to live on a coastal city? I'm all for you shouldn't even be allowed to be in the MLB if you don't have a roof on your ballpark. I don't care where you live. But to be on the coast, in Baltimore, they don't have a roof? What are we doing?
Camden Yards has been there forever, and
I
like
know.
roofs were not in vogue for a long time. They have
Put
the
up a
cool
fucking
warehouse
tarp.
in right
Put up a
field.
tarp.
A tarp would
You're
be
telling me
amazing.
Major League Baseball money can't put 4 poles and a tarp? It will look gaudy, but who cares?
Get the
Play
biggest
the
pop-up
game.
tent you could ever build and do that. Do something.
There's
Build something
there's-
that shoots off of that brick building out in Utah Street that covers the. Please do something.
An
blow
awning.
some air up and just yeah. There's ways to not have rain delays, and we are so lucky because imagine you don't get to go to a baseball game frequently, and you plan a day that you're going to a game, and you're taking a significant other or a child
You're
or whatever,
ponchoed up.
and
for
you're
3
ready to go,
hours.
and then you get there and they go, oh, we think it's going to rain. So the rain delay today wasn't even because of rain. It's because they thought it was going to rain.
Imminent threat of
Oh,
rain.
it might sprinkle.
There might
It
there
rained
might
pretty
be
good.
showers.
It rained pretty good.
It did rain pretty good.
But still, imagine you plan this and you go to a game and they're like, oh, it's delayed TBD. So you don't know when this fucking game is going to start.
Mm-hmm.
And you sit around and wait for 3 hours. And then in this chance, the game got to be played. But imagine sitting around waiting for 3 hours and they're like, actually, it's not going to happen. Go home. Like,
It happens.
it does.
Because people don't have roofs.
Not here,
People
though.
don't have roofs. Teams don't have roofs.
they did
Don't
get this
blame
game in.
They did.
They did.
It
we
did
played
happen.
a game. We
And
played
I bet
a baseball game today.
And I bet the Orioles wish it got rained out instead because we took another series.
No, we didn't. We tied the series.
Yeah, we tied
Oh.
the series.
still
We
gotta
got
play
another
tomorrow.
game tomorrow,
I jumped the
dude.
gun. I can see into the future.
It was a feel-good win today, though.
You're gonna take another series.
We're gonna take another series.
I honestly thought we were gonna get swept. The Orioles are so good.
So the Orioles were up 2-0 for most of this game.
Mm-hmm.
And in the 7th inning, Raley gets on base, gets around to third. Mitch Haniger grounds out to third base, but scores Raley in the process. So 2-1
Well,
2-1
take it.
Orioles,
Cut
right?
the lead. Cut the lead.
The Mariners cut the lead in half in the 7th inning. And then Ty France, our boy, puts a nice swing on one, puts it into right field, and ties this game up with a double, driving in Dylan Moore, who's on base again, our boy. And this is a tied ball game at 2-2
Also,
late in the game.
Keep in mind that Ty France at bat was 12 pitches.
and he hit a double.
12 pitches.
It's a good battle. He had a good battle earlier in the week. I think we glossed over, but maybe we mentioned it. I don't remember. Ty France is having pretty good at bats.
Yes.
Cal Raleigh has had pretty good at bats. Long at bats.
This Ty France at bat
This one was
the
great.
crux of this game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, that 12 pitch at bat was intense, and
then
this
to
is what we
rope an
need.
RBI double off of it.
To score
That's
Nemo.
great.
His
'Cause,
swing's looking great this last week, just saying.
Because honestly, if you take a 12 pitch at bat and you get out, that's still a great at bat just because you took 12 pitches.
Hell yeah.
So for the fact that he had a 12 pitch at bat and then hits an RBI double on top of it, that's just phenomenal baseball. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
What about the balls to pull Castillo and put in Spire in the 7th inning? Like we've been saying, we've been letting these pitchers go. Maybe this is the adjustment. Don't let Castillo go out there for the 7th. Put in Spire for the matchup, the lefty-lefty, because that's the high leverage lefty spot. Spire ends up letting guys on base, but Stanek comes in and only needs to get 2 outs, which is what he's best
Hey,
at.
that's what he does.
That's a good
So-
place to be for Stanek.
This was great because Spire came in for his matchups, faced 3 batters, and there were runners on base, and then they went to Stanek to get 2 outs, which is exactly what we need him for.
They
Throwing
know he can do it.
99-mile-an-hour fastballs, and he's throwing splitters up there too. And he was dominant because he only had to face 2 or 3 batters and not 4 or 5 batters,
Perfect.
which was great. So they used him in the perfect spot to get out of the 7th inning with
Excellent
runners on.
deployment of the bullpen today.
Yes.
I love it.
Nailed it.
So I think they're making small adjustments here and understanding the roles of their players more. And this was a very good way to do that, I guess.
Yeah.
That they drew it up perfectly there.
Good management.
Nice. 8th inning. This is a tie ball game. And Cano is one of their back-end relievers that's one of the nastiest guys. Throws hard fastballs, sinkers, I think. He's a really good ground ball pitcher. Julio reaches on a ball up the middle that their shortstop makes a nice play on and then throws away at first base. So he reaches, but he doesn't take second. But either way, Cal fucking Raleigh, the most clutch guy on our team, no matter how much he strikes out,
Doesn't matter.
Don't care. Cal Raleigh drives him in with a clutch double in the 8th inning, and we take the fucking lead off their best relief pitcher.
Good. Yeah, I think Cal Raleigh is striking out at a 33% clip, which is insanity.
He's crip walking his way to the dugout after that.
33% clip.
Yeah. No, Cal Raleigh has something about him that it doesn't matter how much he strikes out, he's still one of the guys you trust at the plate in those late inning
the most
situations.
clutch,
It's
by far.
insane. Sign him up. Just saying. Again.
Please.
Anyway, that makes it Dylan Moore. Dylan Moore again comes up and slaps an RBI double and scores Cal as well. So that makes it 4-2 Mariners in the 8th inning. It looked like we were going to get shut out
Yeah.
in the 7th inning.
Late rally.
So this was very exciting.
Late Raleigh.
Late Raleigh.
Who do we have come in after that
Thornton.
fiasco?
Thornton.
Yeah, our boy.
Thornton.
Thornton comes in, shuts it down the 8th,
Goggles.
and then
Thornton, there's got to be a joke there. Thornton throws a gem. Thornton slurves a who? I don't know.
we'll workshop it.
I'll just call him Goggles for now. He came in and shut it down in the 8th.
And then Munoz came in the 9th, and it's funny because we were here in studio listening to the Mariners game before we started recording, and we were talking about how Munoz had made us feel so comfortable and snug in like a warm blanket, and we weren't having the worries anymore. He had like a 0 ERA for this month.
He has.
He did give up a solo shot in the 9th. It was after he had already gotten 2 outs, and fortunately enough for the Mariners, we had a 2-run cushion. So he does give up a solo shot, cuts the lead to 1.
That Dylan Moore double.
Gunnar Henderson?
Yeah, I think it
Was
was
it Gunnar
Gunnar.
Henderson?
It was
bro.
Gunnar.
Gunner's so goddamn good.
He's batting 9th in their lineup. The next after that solo shot was Rutschman, I believe. That sounds right to me. Let's
Good.
roll with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
If that's what you got,
That's what I remember.
yeah.
I didn't write it down. I
That
just got it up here in the steel trap. Anyway.
I think Gunnar hits first for them. It's 1-2.
And then Rutschman's too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Henderson
That
is
would make more sense. Yeah, Gunnar Henderson batting
Oh,
ninth.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
like, that doesn't make sense.
my numbers producer is in my ear. He says Gunnar Henderson leads off for the Baltimore Orioles.
That makes a lot more sense. Cool.
He hits lead off.
Okay. Anyway, Rutschman's up next. Rutschman, greatest baseball player of all time. Drafted first. in the
Switch
fantasy
hitting
league.
catcher, power
No,
hitter.
Ohtani was first.
Oh, wait.
Ohtani was
not
Drafted second round, first pick in the fantasy league.
Cal Raleigh's basically Adley Rutschman.
I
Just saying.
agree.
but
I agree.
older and better.
Damn.
Adley's taller, I think.
Oh well, he's got him there.
Ah, that's true. Adley might be more handsome.
Hey,
enough of that, enough of that.
whoa.
Okay.
No
I'll lay
one
off
is
a
better
bit.
looking than the Penguin.
The big dumper
Yeah.
on that penguin.
So, anyway, Adley struck out to end the game.
And
Munoz
Yes.
struck Adley out,
Yes.
which is great. I love that.
That's amazing. Adley's a really good
Even though
hitter.
Adley's my guy.
yes.
I'm not sad about it. I want the Mariners to win.
That
more than I
two-run
want Adley to be
cushion
sweet at the
was
plate.
huge, man. Thinking back to that eighth inning where we got the one run lead, but then Dylan Moore tacking it on after Cal hit a double to make it a 2-run lead, paid the fuck off. Because, yeah, Munoz with that solo shot with 2 outs would have been terrible after we're having the conversation about how
to put it into
lockdown
extra
he'd been.
innings and
Yeah.
then have
We
Munoz
would've
have to
felt
go back
guilty.
out there or throw out Voth or something like that. Yeah, that would
These-
suck. But we didn't have to do it.
These games against the Royals and the Orioles, this is playoff caliber baseball.
This is real shit
Like
right now.
these are the teams that if the Mariners make the postseason, these are the teams you're kind of expecting to play. The Orioles especially, the Royals maybe, but they are a good ball team and they have
They are.
Like these are the types of games that you want to win as a playoff caliber ball club, and the Mariners somehow, some way,
Dude,
are
they-
finding ways to win series. It's crazy.
It's
They're
the
gonna eke
guys
it
we
out.
need. Yeah, they are. They're going to eke out a lot of wins. There's the guys that we
what we
need
need.
to step up, have been stepping up a little bit. And our pitching has been holding it down. Wu is back, so we have our top 5 rotation that we expected earlier this season. We're not talking about how's Emerson Hancock going to be. We're talking about how's Brian Wu going to be, and he's been looking good. His 2 starts, he's building and building. He's just going to keep getting better and fit right in with our rotation the way they've been.
Well, that's the week in Mariners
That
baseball.
is the week in Mariners baseball.
We
It was a lot of baseball.
there's
was.
a lot of baseball being played.
And like Patrick said, we're in the thick of things. We're as many games in this season as we need to be to really feel what's going to happen now. We're at 46 games through the season, and we know what to expect from the players that we have, what kind of improvements they've made thus far, or diminishing returns as far as like Polanco and Haniger. Our expectations are kind of tempered as much now. We had high hopes in the beginning of the season. I remember being really optimistic.
We were high on Mitch Garver.
And
Mitch
Polanco.
Garver, Haniger, Polanco.
I was stoked about Polanco.
All those guys are not hitting over 225.
But to give credit to Mitch Haniger, he did start off the season hot.
He did.
So he has cooled off recently. With Haniger, I think that it is just a slump. That's all I'm chalking it up to for Haniger.
Defense has been horrid.
How long is this slump going to go, though? Because if we're looking at last 15 games, I don't have stats on it, but I didn't because I know they're not great. Like,
I don't want to look at those
the
stats.
thing is, he has a good few productive moments here and there, which is
Streaky.
nice.
We've
He
said
does hit home
streaky.
runs. He is a streaky player. And it is nice when he does get hits and has a hot game. He'll be 3 for 3 in one game, but then like 0 for 3 in other games. Doesn't put the ball in play in the situations we need him to. He's just not the guy that we need him to be. And I've noticed he played about as many games last year as we've played this year before he
Broke his
fractured
arm.
his forearm getting hit by a pitch. So Mitch Haniger. And
Yeah.
and he's doing about the same. He hit, I think, 209 last season before he got hurt, and he's hitting about 215 this season until this point, and he's not doing much. So I think we have to temper expectations on what kind of Mitch
Do you think
Haniger
it's a
to
slump,
expect.
though?
I'm going to have to disagree with tempering expectations for Haniger. I think he's slumping. However, and this can't be quantified by any type of sabermetrics. The legitimate, like, clutch gene. The, like, when you come up when the game matters, I feel like Mitch Haniger has that.
Yeah,
like-
not in spades, but he has a bit of that.
From a
There's
plate
a spark of it.
from a plate perspective, I would let's say right now, Game 7 of the World Series, bottom 9, you need a run to win. I would put Mitch Haniger at the plate, Mitch Haniger or Cal.
Before,
I would bet that Mitch Haniger could get a line drive to score a runner from second.
dude, I would trust Josh Rojas more than Mitch Haniger
I
right
would
now.
too.
I would
I
easily
wouldn't put him as
put
the first guy. I'd
Now-
put.
even Dylan Moore. With the
Yeah.
way things are going this last couple weeks, I would trust. There are other guys I trust to put the bat on the ball more than Mitch Haniger. I'd trust him to maybe strike out though.
I mean, shit. I'll agree with Patrick in the sense that Haniger's bat is more useful than his defense.
Sure,
Well, yeah.
obviously.
But
So, I mean, I would love to have Haniger as a DH some days.
I wouldn't put him in the low tier of players to have at the plate in that situation, but I wouldn't put him above certain players that are actually kind of nobodies in the league right now, and they're just Mariners.
I see what you're saying.
Demo?
and like
Demo,
Like Demo.
Luke
Okay.
Raley,
Okay.
Yeah,
but-
someone who can put the bat on the ball with authority that has more of a chance of like putting a hard hit.
Okay, so right now, if we were to play a Mariners game right now, Dylan Moore would probably have better at bats than Mitch Haniger throughout the game. I'm saying playoff situation,
Clutch
that
factor.
pressure on Mitch Haniger is gonna fucking come through.
I don't
for
know.
you.
I
I
don't-
think
I-
he will.
I don't think I trust it as much as you do.
I think I'm like I said, I think I'm already have tempered my expectations for that kind of thing. 2021 and 2022, Mitch Haniger, when he was a Mariner and played well for us before he ruined his ankle swinging the bat. That sucked so bad. He got
Is he
sick.
still doing that ankle rollover
Yes.
thing? He still does it? Like
He still does.
he's going to hurt himself
And
again.
I'm saying,
Man, like he was performing well then, but now after his ankle thing and his forearm thing, he's not the same player. He's not playing good defense in right field like I used to see he was at least serviceable out there. Now
been
it's not.
tough lately.
It's bad. I see
been
the
pretty bad.
real
Pretty
decline.
bad.
And as a bat, absolutely I want him at the plate, but I don't think he has that thing he used to have.
I think he does.
Okay.
And
We'll see.
I
we'll
mean,
see.
we
I
will
hope-
see.
He'll be
Like,
around all
we'll,
season.
We'll ride out the season as long as he can stay healthy. That's just a win for either one of us, as long as he stays on the field.
Look, I do want Mitch Haniger to be a big part of this team, and I think that the solution to this problem is don't play him in fucking right field. Please, if Mitch Garver's not doing well, put him at DH, switch off days, have him in right field only a few times a week, not every fucking 5 or 6 days a week. Like
I do
Luke
agree with
Raley
that.
should be out there. Even Dylan Moore should be out there if we have a healthy
been
infield.
saying
if
I
the
want him
bats
to
are
play
hot.
less.
So he needs to be a bench bat or a DH more often than not. Rest more as an old man, Mitch Haniger. I'm sorry, Mitch Haniger. You're not the same 5-tool player you used to be. We love you, but that's
Who's
the thing.
coming around to my side of things now, Matt?
I thought Mitch Haniger was someone else.
Now you say he's old.
Yeah.
He's as old as you are.
I'm looking.
I'm feeling a little bit old sometimes.
I'm old as shit.
My knees tell me, dude. Oh.
He's using a butt pad.
I know this guy.
I have to come around to I tried to skateboard recently. did not go well. It hurt a lot. I'm very lucky I didn't actually hurt myself.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
So
Because we might need you in right field.
I'm feeling a little. I know. Let the Mariners call me if they need me.
They
I'll
should.
be there.
I mean, it's better
I got
than
range.
Haniger.
I got an arm.
True.
I could play probably about a week
True.
before
What if they
getting
don't?
hurt.
What if they don't want a left-handed right fielder because of? I don't know.
Handed matchups.
Because of
Well, then you can
matchup.
call him and tell him to suck it.
I will. I'll
Yeah.
give him a ring.
Sam-
So what else we got? We got. I mean, how are you guys feeling about Julio recently? How are you feeling about
Good.
Ty France recently?
Well,
We can talk about Julio.
yeah, I want to talk about Julio.
Okay.
He's a great center fielder. Before we get into offensive stuff,
I would say he's an elite center
yeah,
fielder.
yes.
Better than great.
I would say he, without checking, he probably still leads the league in outs above average. He just robbed a home run today, which helps a lot. That dude has been excellent in center field, and no fly zone is not a joke. It's not a gimmick. It is literally no fly zone out there. When there's a fly ball hit to any gap, I'm like, oh yeah, Julio's there, and
He'll
I
be
know
there.
it. So
Confident in that. Yeah.
that's what I want to lead off with. That is one of his absolute strengths.
Mm-hmm.
The dude has been putting the ball in play more often. He's been putting the ball in the air more often.
Would you say he's striking out less? He's still striking out a lot.
He strikes out a lot.
Is he striking out less than the first 2 months of the season?
Probably not by a lot. A few percentage points,
Yeah, I
maybe.
would say maybe just a little bit less, which
He's-
is improvement.
For a guy who swings a lot, that's okay. That means he's
Swings
putting the
hard.
ball 3% or 5% more.
Yeah.
So we want that.
Okay.
I think he has a natural line drive type swing. Patrick, what's your eye test say about Julio's swing, and what is his style at the plate?
Eye test shows that he's swinging out of his shoes way too damn much. And again, kind of attribute that to him being younger, wanting to be this. I mean, imagine us at 22 years old. You have all the money in the world. You're the star of a city, and you're coming up to the plate. You're wanting to put it in the seats, right? Like,
Absolutely.
I don't fault him for that.
That's a dream.
Oh yeah, I would.
Yeah.
He's living a dream.
He's literally living a dream.
So
like,
he's still young.
He spent a lot of time saying the sophomore slump is real. It's his third season, and he's
But-
looking worse
Patrick,
now, I think, than he did last year at this point.
has this last couple weeks been better?
they have been better.
That's what I did.
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
see what you've been saying, and I
Yeah.
was saying it for the first month and a half here. Now we're at the point where we see that he's making adjustments at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
What, like, to me,
Well-
he's not like a fly ball hitter. He's a natural like line drive hitter that hits a lot of ground balls and strikes out a lot, which is not
That's
great.
what we're seeing.
But he has made the adjustment to hit the ball in the air more.
Okay.
And
we also haven't seen a lot of patient at-bats from Julio.
that's my big thing.
So,
But
room for
Lately-
improvement for sure.
this week, I've been seeing he's laying off inside pitches more. He's not getting beat inside, which doesn't let the pitcher set up for the outside sweeper or curveball breaking pitch to get him out that way, like a strikeout way.
The
So
miss by a mile swinging strike.
if he's not swinging at the inside pitches that get him jammed, that he fouls off or whiffs all the time, then it doesn't let the pitcher set up that strikeout pitch, and he gets deeper into a count. And I have noticed that he's been better at laying off the pitches that are actually tailing inside off the plate and taking balls and working counts a little bit better than he has been this earlier.
I think that's fair.
One thing that kind of just intrigued me right now is you being like, he's not like a home run hitter, but that moniker has kind of been contributed to him. Like, oh, he's a power guy. He's gonna hit a ton of bombs. And so, like, what if he kind of had that mindset? What if he's not a home run hitter? What if he's not a guy that's gonna hit 30 in a year? What if he's a guy that can hit maybe 20, but he's more of a line drive guy? But because he kind of has this I don't know, stigma, aura around him as like this.
He's always
power
been
hitter.
labeled, that way.
So he wants to get the home runs. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe that could. But yes, he has made adjustments. He's not swinging out of his shoes as much. But a week ago, I mean, even just a week ago, he was swinging out of his fucking shoes.
Well, what do you think, Garrett?
The same thing we've been saying for weeks now, that he needs to be making contact. The power will come. If the ball jumps off the bat, it's just naturally going to, because Julio is a super athlete.
Yes.
Just make contact, get your line drives, get on base.
Put the barrel
Don't worry
on it.
about swinging out of your shoes all the time. Get the barrel on the ball.
Please.
It'll come in time. Just, please just stop trying to swing for power. If it's not happening right now, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Get your line drive swing down, which you're saying is looking good recently.
Yes.
So focus on that. And in time, Julio's going to be back to the exact same Julio we've seen time and time again. Like
I
it
agree.
hasn't only been 2 years.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Dude, A plus. Nice work, dude.
I agree,
Hell
man.
yeah.
And
no notes. That is everything I wanted to say. Just
You're
better.
welcome.
Just better.
Yeah, no worries. Is that all we got on Julio?
nope.
Oh, okay.
We got a little bit of
I've
stats.
said my piece.
We got a
Okay,
little bit of stats.
Let me hear it.
Great opinions on Julio. I agree with you
Let's
over
see
there.
who's right. Matt's got the numbers.
Well, who's right? We all know Julio's going to be good, right? So last year, I want to touch on how he's a home run hitter. This moniker's been given to him, and he's thinking that way. He's been the guy that's knocked home run king Pete Alonso out of the home run derby the last 2 years straight. Just saying, maybe that is part of his mindset that, maybe they put this label on him and he thinks he's something that he's not naturally. Because I don't think his swing is naturally a home run hitting swing. But after he hit in the home run derby last year, he went absolutely off in July and August and hit a ton more home runs than he did in the first half. So
Sidebar of a sidebar. Is he going to do the home run derby again this year?
I hope so.
I hope he's in the home run derby
Okay.
again so he can get his home run swing in order and actually put the fucking ball in the air at a 23-degree launch angle for once.
Cool.
Yeah. So the dude, when he puts the ball in the air, does the most damage. When he's putting the ball in the ground, it's not great, but hopefully it gets through the infield. You know what I mean?
He's put the ball in the air hard
So-
twice.
Yeah. The last seven,
That's not very good. Focus
last-
on your line drives, Julio.
the last 7 games, he's hitting 320 with a 346 on base and a 480 slug.
That's pretty good.
That's good. Yeah.
Seven games?
That's an 826 slug.
I like
or
those numbers.
826 OPS, I mean.
Okay.
That's really good. So last 15 games, 246, 317, 316. Yeah, that's not exactly what we want to see from Julio, but the last 30 games in general, this whole last month, exactly 300, 349 on base with a 383 slug.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty damn good. And
pretty
like I'm
good.
saying, he's a line drive-ish hitter.
Good.
And hopefully he can get some doubles and triples soon and put the ball over the wall when the pitch is right. But his slug isn't high because he doesn't hit a lot of home runs, and he needs to play to his strengths rather than trying to put the ball over the fence and striking the fuck out all the time and looking at the stars while he's swinging at a fastball out of his ass.
Shooting for the moon every single time.
So we've seen too much of that, but I think the best is to come for Julio here.
And I don't mean this is the perfect example for him to prove it on this incredibly rough and brutal road trip that we're on. And if he can show out during this real like kind of dark streak in the Mariners schedule, I mean that can really boost a lot of internal like conversations about him.
And
like,
when we've said so many times, when Julio goes, the team goes.
Even
Pick it up.
Rojas said it recently. I
Rojas
heard it.
said that?
Yeah,
I missed it.
It was in an interview, and he was like, "Yeah, man, everyone knows when Julio goes, this team
Hell
goes."
yeah.
I was like, "We've been saying he
Yeah.
listens to us."
he listens,
I'm
friend of
glad.
the pod.
No, everyone
That's
knows
actually
that.
that's really nice to hear Rojas say that.
Yeah.
Through
Yes.
your mouth. I missed that.
I'd like to be the mouth that Rojas can speak through anytime.
Cool.
Josh.
Tell Matt to tell me.
About Julio.
We got to talk about Ty France. We've put it off for 2 episodes in a row.
And we're back from another break. We are running along today and don't really care. We are having so much fun.
Don't care. We got a lot to talk about.
And honestly, like, we do this for fun.
Yo, we're 162 guys. We're in it day in and day out. Mariners for life. So here we are.
First time we've reached across the table.
I know.
The new table that Matt and I built.
Whoa. Oh, I'm hitting his mic now. Great. Well, we got a few more things to talk about. One thing that's been pressing, it's been in the news around the Mariners sphere. It's Ty France. And Ty France not performing as well as he could at first base offensively and defensively, I guess. And should we upgrade at first base is the real question.
I don't think his defense has been bad.
I mean, I love that he's a pick artist over there. Mm-hmm. He'll pick anything. Throw a ball at him, and he's great. But his range is not good, especially when you look at like defensive statistics. His range isn't good, but he is more valuable at first base than those statistics say.
Passes the defensive eye test in my mind.
That's the most important thing.
So
that's the stat we care about the most.
I bet Matt has something to back this up.
I don't have defensive stuff.
Okay,
I
good.
like him at first base defensively.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about his defense at first base as much as the defensive stats say negative.
Sure.
But his WRC plus is 88. That's the one weighted runs created plus, which kind of takes.
What's the plus?
The plus means that it's a scale out of 100.
Okay.
And you're rating him on a league average. So 100 is the league average WRC.
So weighted runs created. I got that.
Yep.
Plus.
So he's
plus league average.
Oh no, plus just means it's on the scale of 100. His
okay.
WRC is a different number than his WRC plus.
I see. It's not like
the plus just means he's rated against.
It's not like
the league
OPS
average
plus, which is OPS plus slugging equals this number.
No, OPS
okay, different thing. Gotcha.
It's the same thing. We're like OPS,
but it's plus your slugging.
Plus is on a scale of 100. Any plus stats are on a scale of 100, and you're compared to the league, and 100 is the league average. WRC plus 88 is 12% lower than the league average hitter. So Ty France at first base, especially, isn't producing as well as most first basemen in the league.
Offensively?
Gotcha. And we need him. That's weighted runs created. Mm-hmm. Runs created. We need him to create more runs. First baseman is a premium offensive position, and he's not performing up to standards. He went through the whole swing revolution at a drive line. He's backed off the plate, not getting hit by pitches as much, but
which has been a detriment to his game.
Yeah.
That was part of his offensive makeup.
The trade-off.
Getting hit by
I'll
pitches.
say it. It's probably about time to say that him not getting hit by pitches has led to him being worse at the plate.
He can get to those inside pitches and rip them down the left field line now. I've noticed he's able to get his bat to pitches he couldn't before.
That's the trade-off.
Yes. So we want the trade-off to be power, but his power hasn't been there so much. He has 4 home runs in the last month, and those are all of his home runs this year.
Right.
But what do we expect from him over the whole year? Is it time to upgrade from Ty France, who's about to turn 30 years old, and we're paying him about $4 million in arbitration?
It's not that much.
It's not.
But do we end up trying to get a bat at first base rather than sticking with Ty France?
Being that it's a premium offensive position, we're going to pay a lot more than $4 million for someone better than Ty France.
Yeah,
right?
we have cap space. We have space. You know what I mean?
But do you have an owner that's willing to spend money?
We also have to extend Cal Raleigh. Logan Gilbert.
The Mariners have to play into a position to force the front office to improve offensively. So is first base the position that we do that at?
Yes. I would say Yes, I would like to improve first base.
Who's the obvious name?
Ty France? That's
No,
what we're talking about.
who do we improve
Yeah, like
with? Who do we trade for? I mean,
Oh,
because
man.
I like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but
Right.
it hasn't been the hottest name on the market because he has a 1.5 years of control. But there's a guy that's a rental that we could try to extend called Pete Alonso,
Okay.
the polar bear.
Yeah.
I have heard some rumblings about the Pete Alonso thing. If the Mariners were to make a move, Pete Alonso would be the way to go, I think.
That's the hottest name on the market, and they'd have to pay up with prospect capital more than likely.
Do we know how much he's making?
No, but he's just about to reach the end of his control, like prospect control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at the end of this season, he'll go into free agency. So either the Mets,
$20.5 million is what I'm seeing.
either the Mets
Yeah.
pay him and extend him, or let him go into free agency, or they trade him.
So we do a little bundle
I
action?
think
'Cause
they-
they're not going to take Ty France straight up.
The Mets,
No.
no. I mean,
The
Ty
Mets
France
are willing to pay anybody to do not very much.
The Mets have
They took
publicly
Cano.
said they're not willing or not like competing this year strategically to Scherzer, who spilled the news to Fair Territory last year. That the Mets aren't really competing. They're trying to like kind of rebuild up to a competitive team again because they spent too much money and kind of blew it. But now, I don't know. I don't think the Mets are really going to be in it. So trading Alonso would be the smartest thing to do for them. Because otherwise they'll let him walk into free agency at the end of the year. So he's on the market. He's the hottest thing for any team that needs a bat, and that's our biggest target. So what do we end up trading for him? Do you think they want Ty France?
No. That's not how you rebuild a team.
No.
Getting a 30-year-old first baseman who doesn't hit for power. Why
Yeah.
would they want that?
They're going to want young pitching.
What you just said, that what we need is a big bat. That's true. But
Yes.
we also need relief pitching.
Do we?
I think so.
What?
I think some of our bullpen is slightly shaky.
Slightly shaky, but that's still better than 90% of the fucking league,
right.
where like bullpen.
We're so spoiled.
dude,
Yeah.
Our
that's,
bullpen has
that's
been
our strength.
Yeah.
crazy. I
That's
know it's
our
our
strength.
strength. I would still like a little bit more.
Well, look, what
Just-
what I'm saying is we need offense more than we need pitching. So
Okay.
we're going to
Yeah,
target
I'll
Pete
take that,
Alonso. Let's say Pete Alonso.
Let's target
Do
Pete
you
Alonso.
think
Fantasy
we
style.
definitely trade from our pitching strength? Emerson Hancock is a guy who just showed he's capable of pitching major league innings.
He could be a fifth starter on any team in the league. He really could.
Absolutely.
Do you
I
think
he could
they'd
be
be
a fourth starter
interested?
on most teams?
I agree with that.
Do you think the Mets would be interested in something like Emerson Hancock for, like, this is a half-year rental of Pete Alonso, remember? It's not like
Right.
See,
it's not a
that's
huge
where
contract.
it becomes.
We're not going to
fu-
extend him for
So
another 24
Emerson
million next
Hancock
year.
and Ty France for Pete
for
Alonso.
a half-year rental.
Do they
No.
want Ty France?
just so we can compete
and like
for the
hope- and,
championship?
like, hope. Make
no,
the-
just I'm saying on their part, is it worth it to take Ty France and Emerson Hancock for a half year Pete Alonso's
For
contract?
them,
For
yeah.
them, it's worth it. I'm
Oh,
wondering
yeah.
if it's worth
Do you
it
think
for
they'd be
us.
worth it to take Ty France for them, or would they be looking at like a prospect instead? I think they would because
I mean,
it's a
Hancock
premium
is half
player.
a prospect.
Being the premium player on the market as Pete Alonso is commands something better than Ty France. You know what I mean? I think they'd go for Tyler Locklear or someone who still doesn't have a major league clock started, a first baseman type power hitter who's still developing.
Yeah.
What if-
rather than Ty
what if we
France.
give
so
him,
Ty France would be in a DFA type category in that place.
What if we give him Jake Slaughter? He has no time clock in the MLB.
we might use him
pretty
for that?
high up there prospect. Yeah.
That's actually not the worst thing. I just think they'd be
Okay.
more interested in someone like that, and Ty France would end up going.
No, you're right. I don't think the Mets care about Ty
Non-tendered.
France.
One thing I've wanted to speak out about this for a while, and I've even noticed it on 93.3 in the mornings with Bucky Jacobson, who
Right.
former Mariner.
I used to
and-
watch him all the time
Oh,
as a
yeah.
kid, actually.
Love Bucky Jacobson. He's awesome. I really love his takes. I agree with pretty much everything he says,
Tacoma Rainier's legend.
except for one thing where, and this isn't just like a Bucky thing. This is parroted pretty much across the league, where they say like first base, defense doesn't matter. You can put anyone there to play first base, and their job is to hit. And I can kind of see what they're saying, but
You gonna miss the pick artist?
I disagree. I think having a pick artist, I think having a first baseman that can dig those balls out, that changes seasons. Like that.
Right, it's kind of a meme that first basemen are like, you're not going to get the error because the third baseman threw it a little off. And you're like, I couldn't reach it. That's your error now. Sucks for to be you. Not that first basemen play that way.
No, but I totally get what you're saying, and that is funny. But it's just like, I think having
That
a
extra mile first baseman.
I think it's really important. I think it's kind of downplayed by the league. They're just like, oh, you can take anyone, and you can throw them at first base. And I'm actually glad that this got brought up, because I just so happened to watch like a 20-minute kind of documentary thing on Adam Dunn today. And
Fun. That's a fun watch.
Yes.
I don't know which one it is, but
it was new. I think it was
always a fun watch.
Foolish Baseball. It came out like
nice.
It came out like 4 hours.
Shout out, Foolish.
Before I watched it. But they were talking about how Adam Dunn's like defensive runs saved at first base was like negative 48
They didn't care.
because he could hit so well. And it's like, okay, Adam Dunn can hit the shit out of the ball. He's going to hit you 40 home runs every year. He's going to walk a ton. He gets on base.
What?
But
it makes sense because the situation we're in with our amazing pitching, let every so often get on first base. Who cares? You do not need a good defensive first baseman when your pitching is so lights out, right?
Every ball hit to Ty France, he scoops up. He doesn't make a lot of errors. He doesn't miss a lot of picks. He is valuable at first base. I don't think that the negative defensive stats show what he does for our team defensively. I think he's fine. Like, he's not a detriment to our team when I watch him play out there. So I'm not worried about the defensive stats like I am about a third baseman.
right.
So the thing is, first basemen need to be producing offensively at a high rate. And is Ty France producing at a high enough rate to warrant keeping him around on a team that's always wild card bound and never fucking division bound? And this year we have a chance to shoot for the division. I will say Houston is now like 19-25. Well, that was Thursday. Yeah, that was Thursday. So they're 20-26. They're making a push, and they're going to finish above the A's. They're going to finish above the Angels, and you think they're not going to make a push to be at the top of this division, or if not the division, in the wild card race, which makes it more crowded than it's ever been. It's more important than ever the Mariners win this division and make the playoffs that way. So replacing Ty France would be a huge move, but we need to do it if it's someone like Pete Alonso replacing him. That guy will definitely produce offense that we need down the stretch to win games after the deadline.
The Mariners notoriously don't go after players like that, though. And I honestly think it's not even in the cards. I think it's not even in the mind of DePoto and Hollander.
No, it is.
Fuck.
No, it
there's
is.
no shot they give a fuck about Pete
If the
Alonso.
I'm siding with
Mariners
Garrett
are-
on this one.
There's no chance. Now, I'm wondering
fuck
who in the margins could we go after? Do you have anyone off the top of your head?
It's Vlad.
That's
Vlad's
not
the
margins.
secondary guy that
talking
has a
about-
year of control.
I'm talking about
I know. Fuck, you're right,
a
man.
sleepy,
You're right.
sleepy good first baseman that the league isn't
me
paying
think.
attention to.
Let me think.
Could Abraham Toro play first base?
Can Jose Caballero play first base?
Carlos Santana.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I wish we'd kept him around for a
I
couple
know.
extra
But-
fucking years. At least we know what to expect from that
I
guy.
think that's got to be Jerry's biggest fuck up, right?
No, it's just something that we harp on all the
we're
time.
just sad about?
He's not like a guy that hits for high average or like
He
does
was great.
He does some damage here and there, and we know what to expect from him, which is the best thing. It's not like we expect highly and he just doesn't get it done. It's a weird thing with Santana. And aging the way he is, he's been playing great, but we need a younger, more productive first baseman at this point. That was just Carlos
I agree
Santana.
with that wholeheartedly.
We
and
love
also, side topic, I think DePoto's biggest fuck up was getting rid of Ketel Marte, who is now pumping big numbers in Arizona.
I suppose so.
But
well, I mean, you know who else is pumping big numbers, dude?
who's
Cody
that?
Bellinger.
Luis Castillo.
Oh,
I'm still thinking about first baseman.
Oh, it's okay. Look, if you find a good first baseman,
I said
bring
Cody
it up.
Bellinger. I was like,
Yeah, too late for that, man.
I know.
that was an old segment.
We needed
Still
Cody
grumpy about
Bellinger
it.
in the offseason.
The
if
other
anything.
option is Carlos Santana. I don't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Talk about Castillo.
Well, if we find a better first baseman than the obvious ones, Pete Alonso and Vlad, we'll bring it up next week, and we'll be looking around the league for any first baseman on a team that's not competing for the playoffs so we can see who's available
I'm
that
going to use
way.
my time off this
That
week
is
to
true.
look
We
for a
can-
marginal
So we'll be
first
back
baseman.
at you
This is a
about
topic-
someone who our front office will actually target.
Yeah.
That's a good point. We'll bring up this topic next week when we're not off the cuff like we are right now, which is always fun. But next week we'll have a little bit more information on like reliable first basemen that could reasonably fill the slot.
And honestly, Ty France hasn't been the worst. It's not like it's
I'm a
someone
Ty
that we're
France
like
fan.
panicking about replacing.
No one dislikes Ty France.
We
We're just
just-
saying if you had to upgrade, who would you go after? And I'm saying we got to find someone in the margins because there's no shot
Yeah.
DePoto's paying Vlad or
Pete.
Pete. Right.
What about Ty Germany?
Oh, no one has ever thought of that.
They beef with. They
Ooh.
might beef with
Ty
Ty France.
Italy?
Oh,
Ooh, watch out.
I don't know. It sounds contentious.
Yeah, that sounds beef waiting to happen.
All right, let me get to my boy Luis
ahead.
Castillo, dude.
hit it, baby.
You know how I picked Luis Castillo to be our Cy Young candidate of the year at the beginning
Went
of the
into
season.
shit in the
And
first 3 weeks of the season. Yeah.
so bad. The first
Hey,
3
he's been
weeks.
great.
He's been amazing. So
I'm with you here.
he's been lights out, honestly. From it was April 14th to May 12th. He made 6 straight starts of 6 innings pitched and 2 or less earned runs. He added to that today and made that 7 straight starts of 6 innings pitched and 2 or less. We thought that today he might get blown up a little bit more than he did because he did early, but he made it 7. He's amazing, man.
He made it 7 in the cold, in the rain, after being delayed 3 hours, which is really hard for pitchers.
2
Especially,
strikeouts.
He's right on that.
didn't need the strikeout.
I think
We still won the game.
I think
Just
that
saying.
says
Yeah.
more about the Orioles offense than it does about Luis Castillo.
susceptible to Castillo's rockness.
Luis Castillo was wheeling and dealing like he always does. In those 6 starts, he had a 4-2 record, 1.86 ERA,
Yo!
10.71 Ks per 9, and that's in 38.2 innings. So that's 46 strikeouts and 7 walks in 38.2 innings. That's insane, dude. That's more than 1 strikeout per inning.
So you're back on Castillo Cy Young.
The eye test.
I've been
the
on
eye
it the
test
whole
will tell
time.
you that's good.
There was one week when you were like, yeah, that was probably a bad pick.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
'Cause he
it's
got
my
blown
pick.
up.
I'm sticking with my pick. I didn't move off my pick
I
from
see.
early
Okay.
season. I
Still
was
going Logan Cy
I was
Young.
saying, watch out. Luis Castillo's going to be on a stretch. He's coming back for it. I know you're on your boy Walter's side there.
Walter.
Walt.
But
ahead.
Castillo gave up 5 home runs. I think at least 4 of them were solo shots. When I was looking up the stats, I couldn't tell on one of the game logs, but I could definitely tell that he gave up 2 home runs in 2 separate games. In those games, he gave up 2 or less earned runs. So
Those are
obviously those are both solo shots. But the 5th one might have been a 2-run shot. Either way, he's given up 8 earned runs during that stretch, and that's nothing, dude. So, what do you guys see from him? What kind of adjustments has he made, and is he going to continue dominating the league, or?
I'm no good at judging starting pitching.
I think he's
So
on a fucking
can't-
roll.
He is. I can't tell you what adjustments he's made. I'm not that.
His slider
I'm
has
not
gotten
that
so much
dialed
better.
in. But you were saying he can't pitch in the cold. Yeah, the fuck he can.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I've seen.
Yeah.
Garrett says he's long sleeve the fuck up, doesn't care.
Got long sleeves. He's fine.
Well, and also one thing that kind of ties into like the home runs, but they're getting like our biggest issue with Castillo last year was the long ball
Yep.
and him giving up home runs
Most home
and
runs in
trying-
his career.
and trying to attack the zone too much to go for the strikeouts. And it was leading to home run balls. And then we noticed that it seemed like he overcorrected. And now he would
Slider outside.
and
He
now
was
and now
walking
he was
people.
he was walking. He wasn't giving up the home runs,
Too many non-competitive pitches.
but he was walking a ton of hitters.
Yeah.
And I think now he's finally dialing in that adjustment of, all right, pitching to contact, not necessarily trying to strike everyone out, but you still get the occasional strikeout. Like you said, his numbers was like over 10 per 9.
almost 11.
And today, only 2 strikeouts. But the final results was the same. He gets the win. He's pitching well.
Right. And that says more about the Orioles defense, like
Yeah.
or the Orioles offense, like I was saying, than it does about Castillo's pitching, because the Orioles put the bat on the ball more than anybody, and they hit more extra base hits than anybody. So Castillo did really well to not get a lot of strikeouts, but limit the damage. That was really great.
Yeah, hell yeah. You said it's his strikeouts over 9 is like 10-3, 10-4?
10.7.
10.7? Okay,
Yeah.
Logan's is 9.36.
Well,
those
this
are
is-
both insane, by the way.
That not
Like,
on the season. This is just in the last 6 starts. So
Oh, I'm looking at the season.
on the season,
for
it
Logan.
might be
I'm
under
not,
10.
And I'm not arguing Logan over Castillo. I'm just
No,
saying our
no.
pitching is fire.
They're very
dude.
similar. If you have anything over and anything between 9 and 11, that's
never forget.
fucking that's fucking great strikeouts per 9.
Killing it, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was
So,
his ERA? 1 point.
dude, 1.87
Oh my
or something
God.
through the last 6 starts. 1.86.
Last 6 starts, right.
So,
Unless I'm
and
not
then
looking at
today he only gave up 2 runs as well through 6 innings. So that's about the same. Like, he's absolutely locked down through 7 straight starts, and that's what we need to see. And I remember thinking when we got Castillo, especially, this is the day where it's like, it's Castillo day. We're winning today. And it's back to that.
Yes.
So
It
welcome
is.
back, Luis Castillo. Thank you so much. You are the Rock, and we love you, man. You're the best.
I love his little pose.
It's even better when he throws that last strikeout, does a little twist, puts his knee on the ground, and does like one of those.
He
with,
pivots
he's
fully
like- he-
around.
Yeah, the full pivot, knee to the floor, just like the Rock.
That's the best.
He's
God,
putting
it's so
Tim
good.
Tebow to shame.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not
so
quite
glad.
the Tebow. It's the Rock.
The Rock,
kid.
and it's better.
Let me say right now, that's the best trade this front office has made the entire career of
And
the
then
front
to
office.
and then to sign him after. Not
Oh
only did
my
we
God.
trade, we traded and then signed him to
You're
an
here to
extension.
stay. Yeah.
Like that is.
Would we get him for 3 years?
4 or 5? I
I think we signed him to
Hell
5.
yeah.
Yeah.
Brother.
It's
Yeah.
That's what
awesome.
I'm talking about.
So that's my boy.
Next week we got to talk about Logan because
Oh,
I'm
we
loving
will.
the Castillo conversation so much that I need to talk about.
Let's
Logan.
pick on a pitcher every week and
Yeah.
see
And
how
we'll dial
bad they're doing. They're all doing fucking awesome. Just,
Well, thank you all for sticking with us. We know we ran long today, but honestly, I had so much fun.
is
And
great.
We had a lot of topics to talk about. Hopefully, you guys were just as entertained as we are. We had so much fun. Thank you all for being a part of this and for listening.
tell your friends,
Tell your
like,
friends.
subscribe. We're going to be here every week and hopefully more eventually.
Oh yeah.
And fucking great time with you guys this
Yeah.
week.
Thank you all for listening, and we'll be back with more Mariners news. And
Go Mariners!